Streaming?
And guys, this is us back from our little break with numero 2 of our Strahd Sunday double feature. We gave you the comedy. Now it's time to hopefully bring the horror. We are here tonight with a new crew, a slightly larger crew of people. This is the biggest group that I have ever DM'd before. I've got 7 players tonight, 2 of which you will recall from our previous session. Um, and we are going to be having a little bit of a different start off than they did, in a little bit of a different area. Um, oh, sorry.
Good.
What is going on there? I hear beeping.
Beep, beep, beep. It's Paige. Paige is
Oh, okie dokie.
updating a voice box.
Excellent. Okie doke. So, anywho, we are going to start out tonight in a slightly different fashion than our last game did, because currently none of our players, besides 2 sets of 2, actually are going to know each other from anything previous to this. Unlike my other group, we did not finish up in time to start our last session, so this is going to be fresh and new and from the beginning for all of you. And we're going to see some very on the spot role playing. Now we are going to start out with Wilhelmina and our good friend Lucius Draconis, the Dragonborn. Both Wilhelmina and Lucius Draconis, the Dragonborn, are going to be located in the middle of a rather bustling camp of brightly colored fellows and gals, all of which are in the middle of the woods along a path that is quite large, wide enough for several wagons to pass, which, frankly, they do have several wagons. They are brightly colored and ornately draped with strips of cloth and banners. There are advertisements for food and jugglers, and it's almost circus-like in appeal, although very, very small, very, very tiny. Wilhelmina herself is sitting on top of the drop down side of one of these wagons, enjoying her dinner tonight, which consists of rabbit stew and bread and ale, should she choose to have it. And Lucius, you are actually receiving the hospitality of several of these other individuals who are known to you as the Vastani. The Vastani are a nomadic people that tend to travel along the land. Everybody's heard of them at one point or another. They are very robust, they are very full of life and smiles, and they seem to be able to know their way just about anywhere. And the anywhere that they have currently been contracted to help transport you to is a land known as Barovia. Earlier this evening, they stopped for the evening at the behest of Rishaka, who is their caravan master, um, who said that they needed to wait here for a bit as they were expecting someone. And you, of course, obliged and are sitting and having ale and food with all the rest of the Vistani, who regale you with tales from beyond a place they call the Mists. And what you doing, Lucius? Sitting here amongst all these very happy, brightly colored people.
I wish to talk to them and share some of my own stories of battle and glory.
And they seem to be quite keen to hear them. There is one smaller child who is there who looks like she might not be much older than 10 or 12. And she is hanging on your every word. This is probably one of her first trips out with the caravan itself. And she just seems absolutely fascinated by this giant dragon man. Oh, tell me the one about the goblins again.
There were so many goblins and one of me, but they should have brought more goblins.
Oh, how many? How many? And this little girl's name, Wilhelmina, is Damia, and she is the daughter of what is essentially the troop leader for here, the brother of Rashtaka, whose name is Stanimir. And you've known her for what's probably her entire life. She usually stays home in the village in Barovia that is just primarily made of Vastani. And this is her first trip out. This is her first trip out into the world past Barovia.
Uh, as many goblins as you might see in your lifetime. But as long as you adventure with me, you'll always be filled with wonder.
Anamir, leave that man alone. There's no reason to keep up with that loud talk.
But Wilhelmina, he's gone so many places.
You will as well. This is your first go around. Keep quiet and listen more.
Yes, ma'am. She kind of kicks the dirt just a little bit and pouts, but kind of just sits down and quiets down just a little bit.
I'll like pat her on the head and then like turn to her and like tell more of my stories of hunting and killing goblins in order to get stronger, but like mainly as her as my focal point of the audience.
Wilhelmina is currently being spouted at by a dragonborn telling of all of his great feats.
Mm-hmm.
Just pushing my food around, making sure nothing comes of the night.
Yeah, Wilhelmina, you've heard this kind of talk from a lot of people before. Maybe not so loud and so boisterously as this, but this is something that you're used to when it comes to encountering adventurers. It's probably the loudest one you've heard so far, though. And we're gonna cut away from this never-ending spout of battle prowess to the woods just south of this location. We're going to cut away to Galen. Galen, you have been searching for a certain vampire for quite a long time, and you have been told that there was a vampire sighted controlling a group of undead in this area. And it sounded like it might have been who you were looking for. You have been searching for days, and it has been vastly unfruitful. The biggest thing that you were able to find as far as a clue goes was a what looked like a animated hand that had been creeping around amongst the underbrush. You managed to catch it, and it tried to strangle you quite soundly, but you managed to beat it down. Inspection of the hand did not prove to give you any information about what could have created the creature other than it's just an animated hand. So things have been pretty frustrating lately. But you have been tracking the sound of what is noises of talking and every once in a while laughter, along with a booming, boisterous kind of appeal for a while now. And you feel that you may be drawing close to the source of it. At the same time, somebody else is drawing rather close to you. Grayson, you have been tracking what looks like it might be a humanoid amongst the trees, and you've had a much better time in finding undead. It seems like these things might have been following whoever was moving through the underbrush, and you have put down at least 3 zombies in the past 3 days, as well as finding the remains of a crushed, desiccated hand still twitching with unlife. And you are about 40 feet behind the what you consider to be quote unquote your quarry and what might be the cause of these undead, as you just through the break in the trees manage to spot the back of Galen.
Um, I would like to see if I could sneak about 10 feet closer while I bite my thumb and cast Blood Curse of Binding.
Okay, go ahead and make me a stealth roll, and this is going to be versus Galen's perception roll. Since he is actively looking for things, he would be actively percepting right now.
Okie dokie.
Oh boy.
Oh,
boy! Okay,
Alrighty.
alright.
You guys are doing great.
Each of you roll a
I-
d. Each of you roll a d4 and add it to that roll to be the tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
See, both of them get +1/+1.
That would be amazing, and I would love that so very much.
Oh, fuck.
Alrighty. So Galen,
it.
you are completely you are completely unaware of the presence sneaking up behind you because you are focused to the forefront towards the voices and the slight lilting singing of a Vastani maid in the distance. And you do not notice this person who creeps up 10 feet behind you. And Grayson, what exactly does your ability do? Why don't you
Here, I can actually click on it and it should pop up in chat or
Lovely.
not. Come on. There we go. So essentially, as long as a creature was within 30 feet of me, I cast Blood Curse of Binding, and as long as they're not at least a size larger than me, the target must make a strength check, or strength savings throw, or otherwise their speed will be reduced to 0, and they can't use reactions until the end of my next turn.
Alrighty. So go ahead and make a strength saving throw, Galen. And what is the DC on this blood curse?
That is 13.
13.
Oh,
Ah!
thank God.
You
Thank
make it.
God.
You make it. Okay, so you bite your thumb, Grayson, and you make the motions and mutter the words of the curse, and you focus it upon the person in front of you. And Galen, for half of a second, you do freeze up. You feel like your entire body has just convulsed and held completely still and stiff. And then you shake it off, and you look around, and you spot a gentleman coming up behind you.
Spotting this gentleman coming up behind me, I will. Let's see, what do I do? I will cast a spell on myself, and let's see what that spell requires as for components. Oh, okay, verbal, semantic, and material, being a leather strap. He might hear me muttering something under my breath, which I don't know off the top of my head, and he might see me pull something out of a pouch on my belt and waving my hands, and after doing so, who goes there? Placing the thing you may have seen pull out my pouch, going back in, placing that object back into said pouch.
So, you just say who goes there?
Yeah, I essentially cast Mage Armor and say who goes there.
Okie dokie. So you see a shimmering essence convulse around Galen's form and then fade from your view, and he shouts, "Who goes there?"
I will take my hand crossbow off my side and point it at him and be like, I'm Grayson, the monster hunter. Surrender now and I won't be forced to kill you.
Seeing that you draw a crossbow on me is like, I'll pull out this small handheld device, and my name is Grayson. Or yeah, my name is Galen. No, I'm Grayson.
You're not Grayson. I'm Grayson.
No, I'm Galen. And if any were to die tonight, it surely will be you if you find me, believe me to be your target. As I hold this strange device pointed at you.
From where I'm at, can I tell what he is?
Um,
I am not quite sure what I would roll for that.
Perception check.
Or something.
Mhm.
Uh,
No.
darn.
Other than humanoid, seemingly humanoid.
I would also,
Seemingly
if
humanoid.
I see his silhouette, could I also make the same perception to see what this person is?
Yes.
I'm waiting for this to be a fail. Oh god! I don't see you! I don't see you!
You do see him. You do see him, but you can't really tell what he is through the trees. He certainly looks sort of like a human, but it's kind of dark out. You don't have a torch right now.
Okay.
Uh,
But for my character, I do have dark vision, if that matters.
so do I. But
Do you have that yet?
I do, as my class,
Okay, cool.
not my race.
Okay,
okay.
Yeah, I have 120.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
I'll take a few steps forward. I'll be like, I've been tracking you for a while now while killing these zombies, and you're telling me you're not the cause of this?
Zombies, I haven't even seen any form of undeath while hunting some myself. I guess I have you to thank for that.
And it's about this time that both of you hear a rustling in the brush off to your right. And we're gonna switch over to Nocturna really quick. Nocturna, you've been having a bad day. You were paid 50 gold to try and find the source of these wolf attacks. And the only thing that has gotten you is half of your pack stolen, a ripped shin where your pants are, and somehow, while you were sleeping last night, at least one of those wolves definitely peed on your cloak. So it's not been going great. But you are quite sure that you hear two wolves off to your left, and possibly some people being harassed by them.
Okay, well, I guess it's time to go investigate. Even though it's not been a good day, I still got a job to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, need to roll to approach stealthily?
Yep, you would go ahead and roll stealth on that.
Okay, bear with me because I've never used it before and I can't seem to find anything.
All right,
How do I roll?
so if you go to the eye on the top right-hand side of your roll 20, that's your,
Mhm.
sorry, not the eye, the newspaper next to the eye. That is your little drop-down menu to all the characters you have access to, one of which should be Nocturna. Only
Mhm.
one of which, really. And if you click on it, the first thing that comes up is bio and info, and then character sheet is in the middle. If you click on your character sheet, you see all your traits and aspects and everything, and you can click under skills, which is one of those larger drop-down boxes on the left that lists like acrobatics, animal handling, arcana. There's one that says
Perfect.
stealth. Just click stealth.
Is that what okay, that's how
Yep,
that works.
you have done it. So you start sneaking in quotation marks closer, but you think you're being pretty stealthy. But snap crackle pop is what both Gallon and Grayson hear. And if you click on your character, you can drag them across to where you're sneaking.
Perfect. I really wish I had a second monitor for this character sheet. Okay. Just straight across.
Yeah, well, you would drag them along the path that he's taking. So if that's the path he's taking,
Oh.
yes. Those are trees, so you're moving underneath the trees. Yes.
Yeah, I guess right there works.
So that's about where he gets before Gallon and Grayson, you both hear him rustling not so stealthily through the woods off to your respective right and left.
Let's see, what does my character do? In a stressful situation, my character would. Oh, great! I don't have anything that would be visible.
Oh, so that's where my spell list is.
I guess drawing a dagger in his other hand, point in the direction of the rustling. Who are you?
Oh my god.
Who are you? Who are you?
I'm gonna roll up onto him and be like, "How do you do, fellow? Oh, you're not wolves."
No fucking shit! I'm a cat, can't you see? He's clearly not a fucking cat.
Shout out to Nicholas in previous session.
Dude, does anyone? Because there's a third person here.
Grayson's just gonna kind of look at the new guy coming through and pull out his rapier in his offhand and just kind of not sure which one to aim at.
Hey, I'm gonna.
Yeah, he's just gonna stand there and just kind of, because they were talking, let them talk.
Like, gentlemen, there seems to be some sort of altercation here. I'm simply looking for wolves to kill for a contract.
We haven't seen any damn wolves here. Though I got a hand for you. And if I still have like that
Oh no, you
animated.
left it behind.
Oh, okay.
You left it behind. Grayson found it. Remember?
I left it
one
back
missing with
ways. I left it back maybe 50 or so feet behind me. You can go have the hand from over there.
At this point, Grayson just kind of puts his crossbow away and his rapier away and just kind of shakes his head.
I'm gonna look between both of these fine gentlemen and be like, if I'm interrupting something, can I help? Does anyone need any healing? Or is it just
Well,
wounded egos?
I just offered you a hand, but okay, jeez.
I'm here for less literal hands.
He'll be like, clearly, you're nowhere the thing I'm hunting, and neither can you be.
And it's at this point that you hear a loud, boastful voice yelling out, "Oh, there were so many goblins!" Up to the north of you.
Oh god.
It's like, boys, you're both pretty.
Who on the earth is yelling in a forest riddled with undead and wolves?
That's like asking who's gonna have a standoff in the middle of the woods.
Well, I thought he was the creature I was hunting. Sorry, been tracking him for 3 days apparently.
Have you
How do I know
considered?
you? And how do I know you're not what I'm hunting?
And what are you
Gentle-
hunting?
J'accuse.
You know, he is a good point. I'm after wolves.
I heard tell of a vampire in the area.
Ah, so we're hunting the same thing.
Why would you be hunting for? Wait, is it night or daytime?
It is nighttime.
Why would you be hunting for a vampire at night? Isn't that essentially just wanting a death sentence?
I'm an experienced monster hunter. I am Grayson.
And I'm Balder himself. Pleased to meet you.
I'm just gonna kind of roll my eyes, introduce myself as I'm Nocturna. I'm just a traveling cleric looking to help out.
Okay, in all actuality, my name is Galen. Or Galen. But yeah, no, the reason for my confidence is I have some unique tools very few are familiar with.
Man, this is just gonna be a party of braggers.
I would.
At least
I would
until you get to Lily and Paige, yeah.
Remember, it's not overconfidence if you have the skill to back it up.
I would tilt my hat to you, fine gentlemen, but a wolf seems to have eaten it.
God damn it.
Not inaccurate. You did find it shredded on the ground.
Should I, on that note, should I remove half the pack from my inventory or just?
No. The
Um,
half pack that was eaten is no longer in your inventory. You just pretend what you've got left is what you've got left.
Beautiful, thank you.
Cool.
I would probably start trying to investigate the loud voices that I've been following originally.
Why don't we all go together?
We could do that.
It's dangerous to go low, take this.
I mean,
have I
I'm-
updated my AC? No, I have not.
I am a cleric, you fine gentlemen. I would not mind backing you up in case there is something unholy in these woods. I'm your man.
Alrighty. I'll start making my way. I'm just making sure. Yep. My AC is properly updated for the next 8 hours.
Excellent.
And I'll start making my way towards presumable north.
I'll start following, but I'll stay behind the two of them.
Alrighty. And you see the warm glow of firelight breaking through the trees. And as you get closer, the sounds of people laughing, joking, talking, living, which is quite odd in such a dismal kind of forest, reaches your ears. And you break through the tree line to see a small caravan of 3 wagons and about 10 to 15 or so people around them, one of which is quite a large dragonborn who is currently boasting rather loudly towards a disinterested-looking young woman who is picking at her food, and a child of about 10 or 12 who is sitting on the ground between them, wide-eyed and mouth open, just absorbed in his tales. And an elder gentleman who is near the bonfire that is built almost in the middle of the sort of circle crux of wagons kind of looks up directly as you break the tree line and waves at you as if you had been expected.
Is that just waving to the gentleman that's closer?
Whoever breaks the tree line first is who he is waving to.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just typing something real quick. Yeah. I would probably break the tree line going like this direction.
Okay.
And it was Draconis that started waving.
No,
No.
it is actually an older-looking human gentleman that is sitting near a bonfire right here. And the wagon circle is 3 wagons right here. Lucius Draconis and the bored-looking young lady Wilhelmina are seated at one of the wagons right here on a little drop-down platform that kind of doubles as a bench for when they stop. And the other wagons are located here and here. There is a thicket of horses that look like they are used to pull the wagons, grazing sedately over here, and a large bonfire here where most of the populace is currently gathered, who seems to be a part of these very colorful wagons. There are a few children, specifically the 10 to 12-year-old girl seated over here near Wilhelmina and Lucius, though, listening to Lucius's loud, boastful tales, which can be heard over all of the conversation currently here.
I would wave back like, well, hello. It's just me and 2 other hunters of various creatures in the woods tonight. What are all you lively folk doing just in such a horrid place?
And the gentleman stands up, kind of brushes off his pants, which are a nice brilliant crimson red, and they contrast rather sharply with his beautiful violet shirt. And he kind of walks over to you. Most of the other people are still within their cups and their dances. A couple are playing flutes rather softly, and you see one gentleman is tap tap tapping on what looks like a lap drum as they continue their sort of boisterous existence. The gentleman who approaches you has salt and pepper hair and a slight little bit of a ghost of a beard around his chin, and he's grinning in a very cheerful, opening manner, and he says, welcome, welcome. We did not think that you would be coming tonight. We've been waiting a very long time, though.
This is a new comment, but he's got to be a vampire.
Why would you say that?
It's from Barovia. This is the
This
normal speech.
this is the Vastani speech. It is not Barovian specifically, although some people speak like that. Anywho, enough breaking of fourth wall. Welcome, welcome. We've been waiting a long time.
As
Go ahead.
Go on. Oh, I was just gonna say, as an ooh comment, can I just note that my changeling's in a human guise?
Okie dokie. Your changeling currently looks like a human.
And I'm still the only one visible to him.
Unless the other two have broken the tree line, yes.
Yeah, no, I ain't stepping out of the trees.
I mean, you already
I'm
said that 2 people are with you, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna step out since he already said that. I'll step out here.
Now that like I see like a second guy, I kind of get like wary, and I want to move my character a little bit closer in case, like, you know, in like a protective stance for the people, just in case.
Oh,
The people.
you have arrived
I'm-
together
I'm-
then.
I'm a man of the people.
I'm gonna stay with the wagon, children. Please, it's bedtime now. Everybody into the wagon.
I step out of the tree line and note the presence of the fire, and I'm like, do you mind if I warm myself by your fire? My cloak seems to be wet from a puddle I fell in.
No, but of course, my friend. I did not know you would both be arriving together. It is very fortunate. Now we only wait for one more.
Wait, what?
How do you know of us?
Well, you did just say there were 3.
It is less
Well,
than...
they like. How do you know to expect people in such an area?
It is less that I know to expect people. It is more that Grandma Eva sent us to find you.
Grandma who?
Grandma Eva. She is sort of seeress, you may say, oracle, fortune teller. Yes, she read the cards, and she said that we would find you here. We had already collected one that we needed, and he motions back toward Lucius, who has gotten up and are sort of heading over towards you. And, we've waited here for the rest of you. She said you would be coming, so we wait. Side note, OOC, Wilhelmina, were you just saying that you were getting the children into the wagon?
Yeah, I was. It's bedtime now. Don't mind the new men joining the wagons.
So Wilhelmina, you do know that you were sent out here by Grandma Eva, who is a fortune teller who often sends the Vastani on missions. And you weren't aware that there would be other people joining you, but it's not uncommon that Grandma Eva sends you to find people. So this is not an abnormal occurrence for you.
Nor is it unwelcome. However, it would have been appreciative to know.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, you bundle the children up. We're like, oh, do we have to? But new friends. But they
You
listen
must,
to
you
you.
must.
They listen to you, and they bundle into the wagon, huffing and poking, and Damia looks out one last time, and just her lower lip quivers as she looks at you with the biggest puppy dog eyes.
Can I wave
It's
to the?
bedtime.
All right,
That's all I can tell you. You
Can
know
I-
how this works.
Can I also like speak to the children and be like, it's time for bed. These strange men need to like get acclimated, and we don't want you around for that, especially since this reek of piss.
Grayson will step out of the tree line and be like, "Who you saying reeks of piss?"
I mean, you guys showed up. The piss smell got stronger. I don't know, man.
I raise my hand and tell them that it's a special technique to ward off wild animals.
Oh,
The wolves think I'm one of them.
You know what? He's convinced me. I'm like, you know what? He's a pretty good hunter. He must be a pretty decent hunter. He knows to cover himself in urine.
oh Lord. Wilhelmina
sterilized.
manages.
I say this out loud.
With
Wilhelmina
this
manages
strange
to
device
shut the
still in
door
his
before
hand,
they hear this.
with his strange device still in his hand, he takes the part that he's holding in his
Yes,
palm and
thank
just
you.
bumps it up against his forehead. This is gonna be a long night, I can tell. So who may you be, one with such keen of a nose?
They call me Lucius Draconius the 23rd. I am a very strong warrior sent to help exterminate a vampire causing trouble in town over.
Ah, such greatness. I've heard of you, and I'm sure you've heard of me, Baldur himself. How's pleasant to meet you.
Grayson just kind of rubs his temples.
I make eye
Well
contact
met,
with Grayson
Baldur.
and nod.
It is good that my reputation precedes me. Well met, come into camp. Would you like some food?
Yes, offer our food to everyone. Okay, well, we were going to do that anyway. But anyway, Wilhelmina, come.
As you
I
were,
was actually stunned that he believed me so quickly. I was just like, yes, food actually would be wonderful right now.
Can I make an insight check to see if there's anything abnormal around the camp, like if anyone's acting weird?
You may totally make an insight check.
Do I just click it on my...
Yep, you just click the part that says insight. There you
That
go.
is so cool.
Alright, so, you're not used to being around such colorful people, but most of them seem to be legitimate in one way or another. A couple of them are legitimately drunk off their gosh darn gourds. Those children were legitimately sad to be sent off to bed by Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina is legitimately done with Lucius's BS.
And Grayson is legitimately done with my BS.
Very much so. And the only person you know is not being legitimate at all is probably Galen. Because Stanimir, because that is his name, as Wilhelmina knows, is very much so sincere in what he is saying. He does not appear to have any ulterior motives, and he seems satisfied that you guys are here, and happy to finally have what he considers to be the full spectrum of what he was sent to get, present in one place.
Grayson is just gonna go sit down by the fire and just kind of, pick a stick off the ground and just start whittling it with his dagger in his hand, just for something to do.
Alrighty. And Mr. Stanimir is going to rub his hands together very happily and say, Wilhelmina, so I know that we did not tell you this, but Grandma Eva might have foreseen your services being required of these four lovely individuals. And I know you have gotten to know Lucius here so very well, so you will be happy to know that once we reach Barovia, you should probably accompany them. And he smiles in a very apologetic way to Wilhelmina.
Yes, through gritted teeth, clenching widely in a smile that looks more like a growl. I understand what she asks for. I must answer.
Good, 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 good. I'm glad you understand. Yes.
Lucius goes over to pat Wilhelmina on the back, saying, "Welcome to the team."
Yes, thank you.
You look so amazing. Actually, I think I'm gonna call you my large, scaly lizard boy.
Oh my god.
I hope you don't mind that. As I come sit around a
Little
campfire as well.
Oh boy. Actually,
I go up to him and said, "Well, sorry, what was the name again? Ball."
Ball.
Balder, I think.
Balder.
Well, Balder. I like try to toast him with my ale, and you're like, "Well, Balder, to new friends."
Yes, to new friends. I love it. I love the little animated fire.
Welcome to the team.
Grew exponentially.
It's a wildfire.
Didn't even know there was going to be a team.
Everyone dies. Ba, 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 ba.
And that's the end of the campaign. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. And
this is what we have learned from starting fires in forests.
We'll see you in
and
the
only
afterlife.
you can prevent forest fires. Thank you. Good night.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll put it out with a blue dragon.
First bust. Oh, ignore that. Sorry.
Yes, because lightning is fire's natural enemy.
Of course, naturally. Anyway.
Oh no. Why is that there? Or is it to be ignored?
The
What?
thing I clicked, ignore it. I'm just getting used to everything.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's
I
testing.
attack the
testing
darkness.
phase.
No, I'm kidding.
Fire's out of control.
So
Chill touch.
there's a shriek in the distance as the chill touch goes out, and from the forest, you hear a rumbling growl as an undead wolf stalks. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so Stanimir says, so I realize you have questions. This is always awkward for, well, everybody, but even more so in this case because it was last minute thing. You know, visions don't always come through really fully on the first go round, but Granny Ava basically said that if we came out here and delivered the letter to Mr. Lucius here, that we would come across 3 other individuals who may be interested in assisting the village of Barovia. They are sort of in a bit of a pickle at the moment. There has been a certain vampire who is stalking the headman's daughter, and he has been requesting assistance from anybody that he possibly can, which would include Mr. Lucius here, and also you 3 individuals, if you were interested. He is paying after all.
And I,
We're not.
One cannot pass up such a generous offer of a paid hunt, such as this.
I mean, vampires don't have a reputation for peeing on people, and I could use the money.
Well, actually,
Lucius
just
makes
let you
a
know,
comment
This
about-
vampire.
No!
Lucius
I'm
makes a
not
comment
the okay.
about piss.
Put it this way: you are not the only one that had that thought cross their mind.
Yes. The famous Count von Pisspotter.
No, God, no. This is supposed to be the serious campaign. Fuck. That was
Okay,
wishful
sorry.
thinking.
You put me, Lewis, and Austin in the same campaign. Good luck with that.
Mike and I has been serious this entire time. I don't know what you're talking about.
You
It's
put
true.
me and Lewis in the same campaign.
Wilhelmina
Good luck
and
with that.
Grayson are the only two serious people in this party right now.
Hey,
I'm
I'll tone it
trying.
down.
You're succeeding.
Sorry, I'm trying to have a serious conversation too.
And I'm failing.
The smell of I love that reference. The smell of piss kind of makes me less serious.
If you want to take your cloak off and leave it over there on a tree, I will get somebody to look after it. No, Wilhelmina, it will not be you. Do not worry.
Thank
That
you.
would be lovely. I appreciate your hospitality, good
Yes,
sir.
just downwind of the fire. The fire and that smell do not really mix. It tightens and it just it's not exactly something you want. But yes, if you will do so, I would be glad to sort of spin you the tale of what has been going on, because it is quite a serious one. Wilhelmina, my dear, I know that you have heard it 1,000 times before, but allow an old man his exposition. And he chuckles a little bit.
Of course, of course.
I remove my cloak and contemplate tossing it into the fire before putting it behind the fire.
Excellent, excellent. And, everyone, we tell the tale. And there's a rousing cheer that goes up behind you as several other Vastani, the ones that are not drunk off of their minds, kind of crowd around. A few are still kind of about their revelry. They're very expressive people, and by far Wilhelmina is probably the most serious among them. Of course, she just did get assigned a party of literal man-children, so she might just be a little bit less amused than is normal for her.
I'm no man-child. I look like I'm old as fuck.
True.
I am.
Excepting
old.
Grayson, who is the most mature among you.
And also, now that I'm in the light, you can see that I'm much older than I probably perceived as before, with streaks of gray in his hair and some wrinkles across his face.
Is Wilhelmina casting a cantrip?
Sure, if I can.
Yes, of course you can. What would you like to do?
I would like to have the wind pick up for the story.
Oh, wonderful. That actually works out great. So as you all gather around for the tale, and Wilhelmina just sort of twines a bit of fleece around her finger, the wind picks up, whistling ominously through the trees. And it fits perfectly with Stanimir as he takes a sip of a wineskin that is at his waist and then spits it into the fire. The flames rise up, shifting from their beautiful orange hue to a bluish tone for the remainder of this, adding sort of an ominous appeal to the to the story. And
Maybe it would get their attention.
oh, I would think so. It goes, my friends, we come from an ancient land whose name is long forgotten. A land of kings. Our enemies forced us from our homes, and now we wander these lost roads, in and out of the roads between lands and worlds. He takes his hand and draws it through the air, and the fire flickers upwards, shaping, turning itself until it looks like a man falling from a horse, with a spear piercing his side. One night, a wounded soldier staggered into one of our many camps and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injury and quenched his thirst with wine. He survived. When we asked him who he was, He would not say. All he wanted was to return home, but we were deep in the land of his enemies. We took him in as one of our own, and traveling through secret roads known only to Vastani such as ourselves, managed to travel back and deliver him unto his homeland. His enemies hunted the entire time, and we lost many friends, many family, all of those thousands of years ago. They called him a prince, but we did not give him up to them, even when the assassins came and took from us those dear to our hearts, like vicious wolves. And in the distance you hear the howl of a wolf echoing his sentiments. In the bonfire, you see the figure standing with sword drawn, fighting off a host of shadowy, twisted shapes that claw at his arms and cloak. You cannot make out a visage upon this person, but they seem tall, regal, shapely even. This man of royal blood fought to protect us, as we protected him. When we bore him safely to his home, he thanked us. He said, "I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish, leave when you choose, and know that you will always have a home here in Barovia." With a whoosh, the figure in the flames die, and they return to their normal orange hue, dancing there before you. And he sighs, sitting down, as his features become rather somber, less joyful than how you've known him so far. But the curse has befallen this man, this prince, this wanderant, and it has turned him into a tyrant of most epic proportions. We alone have the power to leave his domain, and so we have traveled here at the behest of our dear Granny Eva, to find those of you who may aid in his destruction and removal from power in the land of Barovia. It is he who has lived for all of these thousands of years, who has cast a dark shadow over the village of Barovia and is harassing the burgomaster's daughter, seeking to make her one of his own, a dark undead bride of Strahd.
The end.
The end.
Can I look around at the group to see the reactions?
I've heard this story before, but like it still like gives me like a serious look of like determination. Like this is what I must do.
Grayson,
I'm only staring into the fire. No reaction.
Wilhelmina was grown up with this story. This is her life. This is the history of her people and how they came to that land.
Right.
Grayson has finished carving, a lovely little steak out of the twig he found on the ground and put his dagger away.
Say, I think I know who the vampire is and mutter under my breath.
You know, there's one thing I've always wondered. I don't know if you've seen this before. Like he had more of a very interested expression that changed into his expression he was wearing earlier, more of a sensical, smartass tone. It was like, well, I never actually encountered a vampire before, but do you think if I threw some of my daggers at him, what color blood would he explode with?
I assume none. They do not really do daggers. You are good at hunting vampires, right? And Stanley looks actually very concerned about the situation, because Madame Ava sent him here for this guy, but he's not really certain that this is the right guy. Maybe he got it wrong.
There are many ways to kill a vampire. I trust that my good new pal Boulder knows what he's doing. I pat him on the back.
There must be some special daggers.
It quite is the most specialist of daggers. Made of the purest pines and purest metals found across Faerun.
See, pure metal, pure. Vampires hate that.
Grayson is just going to like shake his head and rubble his temples again, and he's gonna be like, "The only thing I know is monster hunting."
Well, that
I'm,
is that is reassuring from you. And then, sorry, Nocturna, go right ahead.
Is it possible during the course of the story, like, did the features of, I assume, the presumed figure of Strahd and the flame, like, were they very visible, or was it just essentially a smoke?
It was essentially a little man of fire. You didn't actually see the physical facial features of the person. It was just like an imposing, regal-looking figure made out of fire. No visual facial features, just stature.
Like
Right,
like the Esmeralda scene.
Yes,
I
like
was
the
just
Esmeralda
about to say
scene.
that. I was...
Gotcha.
It was
I
like
get what you're saying.
Esmeralda, but a little bit less detailed in the facial features, because Esmeralda had a lot of detailed facial features in that
And a
fight
little
scene.
less
yeah.
sexy.
No,
But
all the sexy. All the sexy.
Well, it was a very sexy vampire. Yeah. Think 69 Eyes if you are familiar with that band.
No idea.
Lindsay knows what I'm
Um,
talking about.
Vampires.
Yeah.
Helsinki vampires.
From Helsinki.
I'm gonna tap the holy symbol on my shield that I'm carrying at my side and say, "Where your daggers fail, my faith might prevail."
And he rhymed.
Now he's got to do that for the rest of the campaign.
Yes.
And I'm not even a bard.
You
Oh
can
my-
multi-class.
You bought.
Well, it looks like you're a poet and you didn't even know it.
He has to rhyme every time.
Can I say?
Well, we will be leaving in the morning if you are willing to come with us. We cannot make you, of course, but we would greatly appreciate you coming.
Considering the farmer already paid me for the wolves, and they don't seem to be a lot of them around, I don't really have much of a choice.
Excellent. Well, then eat, drink to your heart's content. We will be leaving when the light breaks the dawn. You will forgive me. These old bones are not what they used to be. No night of rashness for myself. I will be bedding down now in my wagon.
My hat to you, but the wolves ate it.
Yes, you mentioned this. You should look into getting new hat, my friend.
I've had a long day.
I see. Well, I hope that tomorrow will be better, but we are about to go into Hellmouth, so maybe not so much.
Good night.
Good night.
What?
Rest up, you two. And I go back to like where I was before they came and kind of like rest by my caravan.
Okie dokie. So you head back to the wagon that's housing all of the caravan's children in it, and you just like flop down on the ground outside of it. There's a bedroll there for you to sleep by. Wilhelmina, you have a place in one of the wagons, either in the wagon with the children in it or in the wagon that the Vastani women usually use. So you do have a bed for the night, or you could sleep out amongst the stars. It's not a cold evening. You have your choice.
Well, Danimir back to his wagon, and then I'll go bed with the children.
Okie dokie. So you follow Standemir back to his wagon, and then you go to bed down with the children, who you find are definitely not asleep. You hear the telltale thumping and rustling as you approach the door. They've been watching out through the small portcullises that can open up so they can see. They were definitely watching the whole story. By the time you get in there, there's a lot of fake snoring going on.
I can see you are very excited about our visitors and the story again tonight. However, it will be a long day tomorrow, so please try to sleep now, children.
Don't know what you're talking about. Let me sleep.
I love it.
Alrighty, so we've got our dragon board bedding down, Wilhelmina ushering the children to actually go to sleep. And what are the rest of you guys doing?
Well, presuming my cloak is nice and smoky instead of urine.
Your cloak is actually in the possession of two Vastani women who are currently with a bucket of water and what looks like a handful or two of sand, are scoring the leather to get the scent, which we will not name again because we've said it enough on stream, out of your cloak. And they kind of...
Have you ever heard of the play Urinetown?
Oh my god, no. Anyway, they kind of wave you off as you go to get it back. No, it will be ready in the morning. You go, you sleep.
Yeah, it will take time.
Grayson,
I guess I'll... I'm sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, Grayson's gonna pull out his bedroll and offer it up to the new guy who clearly is without cloak, and go, here, you could use mine.
That's incredibly nice of you. I'll definitely take you up on that offer. I'm just gonna go pray before I sleep. So, can I go to the edge of the camp, into the tree line, and since we're going into hell tomorrow. So, I don't know if I ever noted, but the holy symbol is gonna be a skull on the shield.
I am imagining one of the shields from AC Valhalla.
Power of Grey Skull.
I don't even know what that is, but yeah, I'm gonna go into the tree line.
Assassin's Creed.
Alright, so Nocturna steps out of view into the tree line, taking up his shield, which is his holy symbol, and preparing to pray to his god.
Grayson at this point is gonna remain seated. He's gonna put his elbows on his knees, fold his hands, and touch his head to his hands. And just sit there, not moving, with his eyes closed.
Alright, and what's Gallon doing?
Gallon will also pull out a bedroll near the fire and sleep there.
Okie dokie. You plop out
Be
your
ready to
bedroll.
bed down there.
You plop out your bedroll, you get into recline position, ready to go to sleep. And Nocturna, how's that prayer going? What you doing there, bud?
Well, considering the god that it is, you knowing what it is, I suppose he'll just vanish into the tree line for a little bit, put down the shield, pray to it, and then proceed back to camp to use Grayson's sleeping bag.
Excellent. So you send up your prayer to your to your god, and you don't hear any answer, but you very rarely do. So that's par for the course. And then you go and you accept the sleeping bag graciously, and you go to have a sleepy bias for the night. And does anybody else wish to do anything before you officially sleep for the eve?
No, I'm already knocked out.
I can't think of anything.
Excellent.
Posted the shield I was talking about in Discord.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, that really looks cool.
That's exactly how I imagine it. But I imagine the holy symbol is more as like attached to it so that it's removable.
Oh no, I have messages on Discord I did not know. Yes, I know that you did not. And yes, in answer to you, Kat, yes, Standamir has.
Told the story before. Okay,
yes,
cool.
So many times you've heard it, you've listened with almost the same raptness that
Damia.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, all of you go to sleep for the night, or at least have some semblance of what looks like sleep. And it's a fairly calm evening. The Vastani wind down about what must be about midnight or so, and except for a few guards that they post just to make sure nothing unawares comes upon them in the night, a majority of them either pass out where they lay or make it back to their caravan and into the wagons themselves. And you have a very nice, uneventful sleep. Except for Grayson, can you please make a perception check for me?
Okay.
Can I take a moment to go use the little cleric's room?
In real life?
Yes.
Yes, in real life, go right ahead. You will not be
Thank you.
affected by what happens next, at least not unless Grayson chooses for you to be.
Thank you, dear.
No problemo. So Grayson, you are going to be just sitting there for a while, meditating almost, and you notice about an hour or so after things have been quieting down that there's a slight mist on the ground, and it's very light at first, just coming up to about an inch or so off the ground. You don't take any account to it. But you notice rather quickly that it's beginning to swirl higher and higher as the night wears on. And it has to be about 3 or 4 a.m. by the time that the mist has encompassed practically everything. You can barely see past where the wagons are. And you're just, everything's a mass of swirling mist and trees, and the Vastani guards don't seem too bothered by it, but you know that it's not really this common for this time of year for it to be like this.
I'm gonna get up and of course make sure my weapon's at my side, and I'm gonna go over to the nearest guard and ask him, do you know what's with the mist?
And it's a young Vastani woman. She looks to be about the same age as Wilhelmina was, and she's dressed in some brown breeches with a pop flash of red coloring in the sash that's tied around her waist, and her very brightly colored red and purple stripy shirt. And she says, "Ah, yes, the mists. They come and they go. They tend to well." Tend to be an indicator that we are quite close to Barovia, or that rather Barovia is quite close to us.
Oh. He's gonna think on it for a second, and he goes, so Barovia can just take us in?
Oh, Barovia can take anyone in, and there are very, very few who ever manage to make it back out again.
Okay, back.
Welcome back.
He's going to thank her for this information, and he's gonna go sit back down, and realizing that he is, probably being taken somewhere else, or at least the whole caravan is. I'm just going to accept his fate at this point.
And yeah, the Vastani don't seem very bothered by it. But if you recall from their story, they said they have ways to move places wherever they want to go. So that could be why they are not bothered by this.
Yeah, the caravan doesn't seem bothered, so Grayson's just gonna kind of relax by the fire and try not to be bothered by this.
Alrighty. And it's a few more hours, and you know that it is dawn now, because you can sort of feel the light in the air, but you can't see it. The mist is blocking out any vision that you would have of the rising sun. The light here, except for the bonfire, which is a little bit brighter, is decidedly still very, very dim, as though it were twilight and not dawn. And it is about this time that the Vastani start to wake for the day. and jump out of their wagons and help those who are kind of still in a torpor wake up by jokingly throwing buckets of water on them and laughing as they sit up sputtering. Wilhelmina is probably, besides Grayson, the first of you to wake, as she is currently in a wagon of extra rambunctious children who are basically bursting at the seams to spill out of that wagon.
All right, everyone up, everyone up.
Yeah!
Okay.
Breakfast! Bacon! I want eggs! There is no eggs left, Demetri. You ate them all yesterday!
We all know we're very close back to Barovia, so we just have to make it just a bit longer. But here, help me now. We'll make breakfast.
Yay! And you have about 5 or 6 children following you around now, Wilhelmina, intent on assisting you with breakfast. And because of the close proximity and the loudness, the next person who probably wakes up is probably Lucius.
Lucius is gonna wake up and attempts to help with the rambunctious children. Keyword attempt.
Go collect some water.
Okay! And they grab a bucket, and a young one that looks no more than 4 starts darting off into the mist.
Lucius runs after the young one. I'll get out with the water.
No, you must stay, lizard man. You will get lost. Vastani do not get lost. You get lost.
The mist doesn't... It's not as it seems.
Yeah. The mist is for Vastani to walk. You cannot walk. You will get eaten by the boogeyman.
I fear no boogeyman. I go to Wilhelmina. Are you sure you're just cool with this young child running off like that?
This is her second time off. In many campaigns we have. It's as expected. She should be fine.
Lucius shrugs and then kind of like goes back to like officially kind of like waking up, you know, and whatnot.
And about this time, the rambunctiousness of the campsite, which is currently waking up, preparing to leave. Wilhelmina's making breakfast with the children. Gallon and Nocturna, if you're not already awake, you sure as freckles are now. Also, Nocturna, your cloak is folded neatly next to you and does no longer smell of the aforementioned thing we will not mention.
I wake up, and if I can see the 2 women that were cleaning it yesterday, I approach them and offer them a couple coins and thanks.
And they take those coins with a speed and rapidity that makes you think if they had seen them on you, they probably would have taken them off you. Oh, yes, thank you. It's so generous. Thank you.
Well, I actually never put how much gold I had on my list.
Everybody's starting with 10.
Okay. Well, I had that other starting thing where I had a different pouch of 10 gold, or should I just...
Nope, everybody is starting with a uniform 10 gold.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Good with that.
I thought it was 6.
I decided to up it because I remembered that Barovia is expensive as fuck.
Okay,
I don't
let
remember
me
how to
change
remove
my
that.
gold.
Yeah, I don't know how to remove that pouch. Oh, wait, I just erased it.
You don't have to remove the pouch, you just notate that you have 10 gold. And
Well,
also that farmer never actually paid you yet. He asked you to go kill the wolves and you would get paid when you came back. And you didn't kill any wolves.
At the bottom of
Gotcha.
the list, if you click the lock, it'll bring you a little trash can.
Thank you. I'll give them, I guess, 2 gold, so I'll go down to 8.
Okie dokie, so you give them a gold each, and they are quite happy about that. Oh, thank you. We will be happy to do more laundry if you pay this well.
Me not being made of gold just nods and smiles.
Grayson is, according to his two companions, apparently waking up. Grayson is still just sitting there staring at the fire like he did when they went to sleep.
Grayson is a stalwart rock of confidence and awareness.
Just to be sure I have the same person right, Grayson is the one that's south of the fire, right? The older looking gent?
Yes.
Yes.
That is the Grayson.
He looks relatively old. His hair has been grayed out from his age.
So, yeah. Actually, the token doesn't really show my age at all, but I would have streaks of gray with a kind of like a salt and pepper beard.
Is it possible to oh crap, what am I doing?
I have no idea what you're doing.
How do you do the ping again, just to be sure?
You click and hold.
Click hold.
Click and hold. Okay, just wanted to be sure. Thank you.
Ping, ping, ping.
Ping ping. All right.
So Grayson was the gentleman. Can I return his sleeping bag?
I don't know. Can you?
Grayson, thank you so graciously for allowing me to use your sleeping bag last night. It was very kind of you to allow a stranger to do that. I would like to return it to you.
Thank you. He will take it and attach it back to his pack, and then go back to staring at the fire.
Sounds fine with me.
Alrighty, by this time the little girl has come back with the water, and Wilhelmina and the children and a couple other Vastani men and women have basically helped form a breakfast line at this point. You have porridge with honey and dried fruit in it, and also some bacon. But as has been voiced by one of the other children, Dimitri ate all the gosh darn eggs yesterday.
Dimitri.
God damn it, Dimitri.
Come now, we must look up for, the day ahead.
And so yeah, you've got a bit of a breakfast line going. Everybody gets a little bit of something who wants to eat something, or who needs to eat something. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Yeah. And by the time you guys are done with a decently nice breakfast, it is time to leave. You see a couple of Vastani men and women with shovels and buckets of water go ahead and pour water on top of the fire and shovel dirt over it, pack it down to make sure that it is well and goodly put out. And they observe it for 30 minutes more just to make sure there's no lingering embers before pouring more water and packing it down with more dirt. And the horses are retrieved from their area where they had been grazing and hitched back up to the wagons. And you see Stanimir maneuver himself so that his wagon is at the forefront of everyone else's, ready to lead the pack. It has two rather large, almost Clydesdale-like white horses attached to it. And they are by far the largest of the lot. And he looks down at the rest of you and says, "You're welcome to ride in wagons or walk next to. We do not go very quickly, so it will be easy walking for you all. Children like to get in and out of wagon, find pretty rocks and things on side of road, so we tend to take it decently pace. But yeah, you may walk or you may ride. We would be happy to have you up here."
I recommend that you stay within sight of the wagons.
Oh yes, is very, very good point, Wilhelmina. Yes, you need to stay within sight of wagon. If you go off into mist, we never find your body. But anyway.
Grayson will nod and get up onto the wagon. 'Cause if he doesn't have to walk, he won't.
Yep. Galen will also try to take a spot on the second wagon.
Is there any space next or near Grayson?
Yes, there is space. The benches on the wagons can fit 2 people at the front and 3 people at the back, near the back wheels. The back is bumpier, of course, than the front. There are 3 wagons, so there are space for at least 5 people on each wagon, for a grand total of 15 people riding on the outskirts of a wagon, and plenty more space for the people who are planning on riding inside. The younger children tend to ride inside, the littlest ones, at the rear of the train in the rearmost wagon. And it is there that you see on the back of the wagons 2 of the more burly Vastani men with very large crossbows kind of sitting at the rear, just in case.
Grayson, good sir, do you mind if I sit next to you since you've shown me some kindness?
You may.
Thank you for blessing me with your presence.
And go ahead.
I was gonna say Lucius kind of takes a nap towards the back of the wagons to help out in case the children need.
Oh man, you are immediately piled on by like 6 eager toddlers who are simultaneously begging for piggyback rides and stories.
I play with them a little bit, but this time like not as large stories. I'm trying to be a little chiller today.
Alrighty, and Galen, which wagon and/or walking position would you like?
I would go into the second wagon, and also, either now or later. So probably later while we actually get moving. Well, I'll wait for that. Yeah, I'll wait for that when we actually start moving. See if there's any role playing going on.
Okie dokie. And Wilhelmina, what would you like to do this day, walking or riding?
I will be on the front bench, sitting next to whoever's leading the children's wagon.
Alrighty, so you're on the third wagon next to somebody who is driving their wagon, which is actually Ratka. Ratka is a younger gentleman. He's about 13, 14 years old, kind of moody teenager phase. He would be the emo of the Vastani, actually. Everybody else is wearing bright colors, and he's wearing black with just like a single stripe of purple. That's his sash. His bangs kind of falling over his eyes, and he just looks at you out of the corner of his gaze and just like nods like a cool kid and just like keeps a good grip on the reins to drive the horses. Oh, hello, Wilhelmina.
Hello, Ratika. You know how we must go through the mist, and I know that you have stable hands. We are in good hands.
Raka blushes. Yes, I am very good at mist. Yes, I drive good. Yep.
Got my driver's license and everything.
It's learner's permit for horse.
Yeah, Wilhelmina basically just it goes back to seeing the tree line.
Excellent. Alrighty. So the wagons start to trundle down the road with passengers in tow. You see the mists parting around the wagons, almost like you are in the tiniest little pocket within them. They come up and they stop. Mostly, there's still a little bit of a haze hanging in the air where you are, but they stop mostly about 5 feet out from the sides and the front and back of the wagon train. And you feel like you're almost moving through them in a little bubble almost of protection. Outside the mists, you can see them swirling and dark shapes arising and falling, stationary ones that might be trees, might be statues, might be walls. And anybody who's watching as we ride along, go ahead and make perception check.
And do.
Oh yeah, I'll make a perception as well.
Lewis.
Yeah, the children are like in my face. I can barely see shit, along with the mist.
I love Lucius.
Well, yeah, that would make sense for me become
Lucius.
gonna be distracted as well.
The children.
What do your elf eyes see?
Nothing, apparently. Alrighty, so Lucius, you are rightfully unable to see anything in the mist because you can't even look at it. Because every time you turn your head, there is another child in your face wanting something, wanting to check out your pretty scales. Can I lift your sword? Pretty, please, can I? Give me a piggyback ride. Can I ride on your tail? I want to ride on your tail. Come on, come on. Lucius, Uncle Lucius. We love you, Uncle Lucius.
Because I'm a Raven Knight Dragonborn, I actually do not have a tail.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's more like, can we ride on your back like the giant lizards in the jungle that we saw last year, Uncle Lucius? Be a lizard for us, Uncle Lucius.
I do some of that. I'm like, rah! I have like the children like all over me.
And because of that, Wilhelmina, you are constantly distracted by having to tell these children to calm down, tone it down. He's a guest on the caravan. Come on, chill it out.
Everyone stay in the wagon. Not fall out.
Dimitri, stop climbing on the roof again. And it's and yes, the answer is correct. Yes, you can do that. To the person who DM'd me on Discord, you can do that. Go ahead and do that.
Oh my god. That laugh is all I needed to hear.
No.
Yes. Anywho, while that's happening, Galen is similarly distracted in a different way. He's just kind of got his eyes half shut, not really doing much of anything.
And also fiddling with a bronze-ish, copperish color bracelet that he has on his wrist. Muttering to himself.
He looks so bored and he's just muttering about everything. So bored. Anyway, so Nocturna and Grayson, you two are the only two who seem to be paying well enough attention to everything else, which makes sense since besides Wilhelmina, you're probably the only two serious ones at the moment. So you're watching, and you swear you can see faces in the mist. Some small and terrified, possibly children. Some larger and more terrible, with grinning, toothy maws and many eyes. As soon as you manage to make one out, the mist swirls and they are gone again. But you are quite certain that there are things out there that you're not fully seeing, but they're there all the same. And you feel, especially you, Grayson, an overwhelming presence within the mists that surround your little bubble of safety in the caravan.
I keep watching the mist, and I just move my hand down towards my mace.
Hey, well, take my crossbow off my belt and just kind of sit it in my lap as I watch. Is there some kind of roll I can make to see if I know what exactly I'm saying?
Yes, you could go ahead and make a... This would probably be just a general wisdom roll. Or perhaps religion if you're better with that.
Wisdom's fine.
Okay. Alrighty. So, you're not really sure what you're looking at. You're a monster hunter, so you've been on the receiving end of a few odd occurrences in your life, but nothing that's been quite this scale before. I mean, you don't think it's ghosts, because ghosts are usually one, maybe two different individuals, and it feels like this is entirely surrounding you, and you've never felt like a ghost that's that big before, and it's just some kind of strange, unearthly presence that seems very akin to a haunt, but so much larger than that.
I'll, I'll make note to. Is there anyone else with us in the caravan that the two of us are sitting in?
Yeah, there is a Vastani who is driving it.
Okay. I'll be like, hey, driver, what's with the creatures in the mist?
Yes, the mists can be very dangerous for those of us who are, well, those of you who are not of the Vistani nature. We are protected by virtue of the ancient promise, but there are things out there that, fortunately, we have never had to come across, but you may encounter at some point. The mists are a very dangerous place. It's very easy to lose your way, to go mad, or to find things that have already gone mad within. They twist you, they shape you, they make you not right.
Yeah, the mists. Got it.
I would highly advise that. It is not always completely possible to do so, of course, especially where we are going, but they are more concentrated around the land of Barovia. Within is not quite as bad, it is only bad if you try to leave without help.
Does anything ever wander out of the mist into Barovia?
The things that surround in the mist are things that tried to get out of Barovia, is true. And they did not make it. They will never make it.
Wunderbar.
Alrighty.
So if Japanese is celestial, what's German?
Japanese is Sylvan.
Sylvan, that's right. We said Sylvan. I apologize.
German is Dwarvish.
Dwarvish? Okay, cool.
Let's go with Dwarvish.
Sure, why not?
Works for me.
Or Orc, either or. I imagine Dwarvish and Orcish are both very aggressive sounding languages.
I'll just I'll utter a swear in deep speech.
Oh boy. So you utter a swear in deep speech. Anybody who can speak deep speech will know what he's saying.
The word that we won't mention that was earlier.
Excellent. Yep, nobody wants to hear that again. But anyway, you travel on for a couple of hours more, and it seems like the pace is starting to steadily slow, and up ahead, you know that the mists, you can see that the mists are parting a bit, and giving way to what looks like two rather large structures. Boop, boop, and boop. If you look at the lovely map of Barovia that I have provided, and move down to the far right-hand corner, you will see Old Salovich Road and a sort of a gate portcullis across the road there. And as you come upon it, looming up out of the mists themselves are two large statues that look as though they are a couple of thousand years old, One has been cracked dead down the center, with half of it laying on the ground to one side of the road. The other one is fully intact, showing the scowling visage of a vaguely human or perhaps even elven-looking gentleman, grasping a sword that is point first at his feet, and scowling down at the road before him. Time and weather have eaten away at these stones, rendering them pockmarked with age and mold. And as you pass between the two looming statues that separates the lands of the mist from the village, from the land of Barovia, you feel a chill run through your body. Everything becomes icy cold for all but a few moments. Even you, Grayson, feel the change in temperature in a way that you have never felt it since your incident before. And it is enough to send, even for the hardiest of you, the slightest tinges of fear through you, with the exception of Wilhelmina, who has felt this more than once before and was prepared for it. And you see Stanimir kind of after a few minutes draw the wagons to a halt and stand up and look back at the rest of you and say, "Welcome, my friends, to the land of Barovia."
We're on the old Svalich Road.
Svalich Road, yes.
Svalich.
I'm like crying children off of me as I try to get out of my caravan.
It takes a couple of strength saving throws, but eventually you manage to extract yourself from their extreme grapple. But yes, so you manage to get yourself out, and Stanimir has pulled the caravan off to the side of the road a little bit, and he's gotten down off of the wagon and offered Wilhelmina a hand to help her down.
I would also get off of my wagon, approaching these statues, looking at them quite inquisitively, and would kind of mindlessly reach out to touch one of them. I don't know if anyone would stop me touching old ancient statues.
I don't stop you. In fact, I come to join you and say, dear friend, Baltic. Because you never told. My dear friend Balder. Let's take a look at these as you fiddle with one and I fiddle with the other.
While they're fiddling with the stone, can I take note of the statues, like physical shape?
Yes, so they are both humanoid in nature. It looks like they were both twin statues of some form of either human or elvish gentleman. It's hard to tell what with time and weather wearing down on these stones. One of them has cracked in half, and half of the visage is laying in the grass along the tree line just past where you had entered. And the other one is still intact, but of course weathered down at the test of time. There are some engravings running around the base of each of the statues themselves.
I'm gonna ask the nearest person in the caravan. I'll be like, "Hey, are those statues of anyone of importance?"
Yes, they are of His Lordship Strahd, the ruler of Barovia. Back when this was not such cursed land, he was well-beloved man, and these were erected in his honor as the start of his rule.
I ask them if they just know how old the statues are.
Oh, many countless generations.
It's at this moment I don't gulp, but I look around, suddenly realizing just how old this gentleman must be that we've just been contracted to kill.
And go ahead and Gallon and Lucius, roll me perception checks.
Alright.
Ooh.
We got this. Alright, no children around me.
No
Let's see
children.
how I do.
Children stayed inside the caravan. No, you fucked. You found some really interesting mold on one of the statues, Lucius, and you're just so laser focused. Maybe this mold is the cause of all of this country's ailments, and if you can just figure out how to get rid of it, it'll
Oh,
all
God.
be fine.
That's the real
Gallon.
Starts like
spicy
scraping his finger against the mold.
Gallon, however, you noticed that the mists here on this side of the statuettes are not quite as concentrated as where you had come from. And where you had come from, the mists seemed to be swirling and roiling in a very uproarious manner. Far more than they had when you had been traveling, not that you had been aware enough to see it. But as you are peering into them, you swear that you see two red eyes peering back at you before they're gone in all but an instant.
Could I make any kind of rolls to see what kind of creature would have red eyes as such?
Of course you can. That would be a survival check.
Alright. Lovely. Another. Yep.
Shit! That was just swamp water, that was. It's perfectly fine. Everything's good, everything's cool. Just two little pinpricks of some deadly creature in the dark that you have absolutely no idea what it is.
I
It
look
must
around
be
for the nearest-
friendly. Must be friendly.
Can I look around for the nearest Vastani and ask them how close we are to town?
Town, yes, town is right over about a mile down the road. So it'll be very soon. You get there. And then you see Stanimir, who's offered his hand to Wilhelmina to get down off of the caravan. After helping her down or being refused to help her down, kind of depends on Wilhelmina's feelings on the subject, is coming over to you guys and says, "This, my friends, is where we part ways. We have some work to do on the wagons, and we will not be able to accompany you to the village. But when you have finished meeting with Burgermaster, if you wish to find us again, Wilhelmina can take you to where we will be at the Sayers Pool."
I will accept the hand down, and I can lead everyone to the village of Barovia if that is our intention.
Excellent.
I have no complaints.
Let's go!
Wilhelmina is a very good guide. She carries messages all over the land, and also she helps to guide lovely people such as yourselves. And Wilhelmina, this is the first time you've ever been asked to guide somebody, so he is talking the fuck out of his ass. This is also the first real message that you've ever been asked to deliver, and you have no idea why Madame Ava chose you to do so.
Sounds good. Yes, I know the land as well as any Vastani. So, as we are ready, we can go to the village.
I fall in line behind her silently, ready to go.
Grayson will finally get up and go stand beside her.
And I will be following suit.
Lucius will run up and pat her on the back and it says, "Lead the way."
Oh, Lewis, you're very quiet. I couldn't hear a thing you just said.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
was a little bit away from my microphone. Lucius will pat her on the back and say, "Lead the way."
Oh, poor Wilhelmina. Alrighty. So, the lot of you are following Wilhelmina, who does know exactly where she is going, because regardless of the fact that she's never had to lead anybody anywhere, she knows her way around Barovia. She has grown up here. She has been in and along these roads for longer than she cares to remember, and she has no trouble finding her way along the path. Stanimir stops Wilhelmina before she leaves and hands her a small pack that he has prepared for her, which carries all of the items that are currently in your inventory, Wilhelmina, as well as a map of Barovia. In fact, the map that you see before you. Because while Wilhelmina might know the way, the others might benefit from being able to see visual representation of where she's indicating that they're going to be going. So he stops and hands these to you and says, I do not know why Madame Eva has chosen to work in such a mysterious way, but you know as well as I that she always has good reason.
She has made many decisions over the years, but all have, in one way or another, benefited us or them. So we must continue on.
Continue on. We will see you at the end of the road, my little sister.
Until we meet again.
And he clasps your shoulder one last time and nods, not mysteriously, strangely grave on this occasion. And you can see the worry that he has for you, um, as he would for any of his people who are going out from amongst the fold with strangers. But he has faith in Madaeva, and his hand drops away, and he goes back to his wagons, starting to shout directions to them in your native tongue, which you know is him telling them to prepare to go to the river to get more water for the horses, and such not and so forth. So, yeah. You guys start off on your journey along the old Swalvich Road, this time bereft of your Vastani companions, except for your wonderful guide, Wilhelmina. And as you're walking along, anybody keeping an eye out for things can go ahead and make perception checks.
Surely
I
I
would
can't
like.
fail like 3 perception checks in a row,
Why would you
right?
jinx yourself like that?
Grayson's just good at keeping an eye out for things.
I'm going to. Yeah, roll perception. I just click it again, right? I'm sorry.
That is
Yep.
correct. You just click it.
Where the heck is it in my list? There. No, that's persuasion. Yeah, I asked the miss politely on a date.
Perception checks just aren't my thing.
Nope.
Oof. Yeah, I'm realizing my stats only let me do cleric stuff and run away.
Run away from the pain. God damn
It's okay,
it,
perception's not my thing either.
I don't think it's any of ours.
I think
Wait, no,
it's, I think it's
Yeah,
definitely
Grayson did good.
Grayson's.
Yeah, no, it's
I-
definitely Grayson's.
That was
He's just
sarcasm.
doing that to taunt me.
This is why I'm
No.
standing next to Grace.
That's probably a good idea. It's probably a wonderful plan. Grayson is the only one of you that will be prepared for anything. Speaking of which, as you are walking along the road, Wilhelmina stepping with more confidence than the rest of you, majority of you don't notice anything untoward except for every now and then a weird curl to the mist around you. It's not quite as thick here as it was previously when you were moving through with the wagons, but it is still unnaturally quiet in this land. You notice the grasses around you are blackened and curling with what appears to be sickness or perhaps age, and the air is just heavy with a presence that all of you can feel. Grayson, you, unlike the rest of them, notice several things. There is slight movement in the mist that is not of the mist itself. Dark shapes passing here and there to either side of you as you walk along the road. And you could swear you heard the panting of some great, massive canine.
my hand at my side, at my rapier, and just watch the mist to see if any sort of beasts come to approach us.
This
And
moment, I wish I had chosen another spell.
and you watch the mist as you walk along, and you notice that the shapes, they grow ever more prominent the further you go. And at one point, you are sure that you see a massive wolf's silhouette in the mist, almost the size of a house itself. Its open, panting jaws just breathing out more mist that coil and coalesce, spilling over the party as it turns its lone yellow eye upon you, bearing down, only to fade and vanish into non-existence. And yet the mists that touch you feel warm and hot, wet like the breath of a great beast at the back of your neck. And then you hear, not in the distance, but all around you, all of you at once, the howling of hundreds of monstrous wolves.
I motion towards the wolf hunter.
Hey, look, we found all your wolves.
Everybody just picks up Nocturna and throws him in the mist.
It's at this
We
moment I wish I
smell
took
you.
thaumaturge. So only Grayson saw that display, correct?
Only Grayson saw the display, but all of you heard the howls, and they were quite obviously from a great number of wolves.
Barovian
Checks.
mist watch you.
This is accurate. This is true. We make no contestation to this. This is definitely true.
Is it possible that I can roll an insight check to possibly hear how close they are, or survival check?
That would be a perception check, and yes, you may.
Perception, okay.
Yeah, because you're trying to percept exactly what direction that they are in and how close they are. Survival would be recalling information about them. Nope, the echoes all around you. It sounds like there's wolves in every direction, in front of you, beside you, behind you, just everywhere. You can't tell how close or how far away they are because the cacophonous nature of their howls was nearly deafening.
That sucks. I'm really bad at wolf hunting, that's what I've realized.
You took this job without any formal experience in the matter.
Grayson, Grayson clears his throat and he goes, "Don't step in the mist. I'll eat you in one bite."
As if to emphasize his point, you hear a snapping of jaws, and all of you see a massive shape darting off to your left, followed by another to your right, as they seem to circle and draw closer.
Can I unsheath my hand axe, bang it against my shield, and try to intimidate it?
You can certainly try to do that. Go ahead and roll intimidation for me.
Why not? Let's see how badly I fail this one. Intimidation. Oh.
Very decent. So
Not bad, not
you
bad.
just bang on your shield and go ah! At the mist, and you see the shape shrink back momentarily before you hear a massive snarling. And from the mist, a large head pokes about 10 feet up. It is a mass of putrid, decaying woven flesh with teeth yellowed with age yet still sharp. It looks at you with one glowing yellow eye, the other gouged from its socket long ago, the interior squirming with rotten worms. You see a few maggots fall to the roadway before you. The jaw hangs open, half of it slashed off to one side, as if in a battle with a great beast long ago. And this rotting half dire wolf just stares down at you and snarls. And this thing is absolutely massive.
Would anyone else like to hurry to town?
Oh, and over
We'll
here, I
pull
thought you
out
wanted to give it a nice
a
pet.
torch.
Maybe even a treat.
Wilhelmina, as long as we're with you, they're gonna stay away, right?
Well, Amina, you know that while you're traveling with a Vastani caravan, the might of the promise is with you, but you're not in a Vastani caravan right now.
Yeah, pet. Um, uh, hopefully everyone knows how to handle fire. I would recommend using the torches.
Lucius says, nonsense, but there is no danger here. Between all of us, that beast sure is no problem, especially with our wolf hunter. And Lucius kind of like pushes Nocturna like towards the wolf, but very lightly.
And that's when you see Lucius as you are shoving poor Nocturna towards his certain doom. And you, Wilhelmina, as you light your torch, that this is not the only set of eyes in the dark now. Behind you, down the road that you have come, and surrounding you to the left and right, are several other pairs of golden eyes. You would say at a glance that there is at least 15, if not more, as they do keep moving throughout the mist. But here and there you catch a glimpse of more putrid, decaying flesh. Not as large as this one. These are normal-sized wolves, but they look very unhealthy nonetheless, and they are converging upon your party of, admittedly, 5.
I would like to speak up.
Thank you, Sibes.
Well,
I think we
admittedly,
should
sorry.
go. No, go on.
Well, admittedly, I love dinner. I've never once cared anything's dinner. And I'm also casting mage armor. Since 8 hours have definitely passed since my last casting and long rest and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love dog meat, we should form a perimeter. What Wilhelmina said, and probably watch each other's backs as we go down the road.
Lucius shrugs, pats Nocturna on the back, and then goes to Wilhelmina and it's like, lead the way.
And are you moving at the same pace you were before, or with some experience?
No, quite quicker pace. Skirt up. Definitely not running, but at a quicker pace.
Like a nice power walk.
All right. Tell me the order of the party. Wilhelmina's at the front. Who's after Wilhelmina?
I'll be Lucius right after.
Okay, Lucius and Wilhelmina are at the front. Who's after Lucius? Or aside of Lucius?
I'll take the back.
I'll
Wolf Hunter's at the
go.
back.
I'll go behind Lucius then.
Yeah, I'll be between him and the wolf hunter at the back.
Okie dokie. So you all are going along at a pretty healthy clip, but you are not currently running. I am going to need Nocturna and Grayson to go ahead and make dexterity saving throws.
No, my one weakness.
Oh god, it is your weakness.
So Grayson,
I'm a cleric.
Grayson, you see it, and you are able to leap over the root that's curling across the road. But Nocturna, you not only trip over it, but watch in horror as the root winds its way around your legs and begins to drag you towards the mists to your left.
Can I grab Nocturna and take my sword that's in my other hand and whack at the the root that went around his leg?
You certainly can. Go ahead and roll me an attack. Very good.
I
So
don't suppose I can react.
your dexterity saving throw was your reaction, and you failed that. But Grayson grabs a hold of you with one hand, and with his rapier, even though it's a piercing weapon, he kind of stabs at the root till it's shredded enough for you both to be able to pull yourself free of its grasp. And as soon as the root is severed, it withers and turns to a blackened, brackish substance that smells quite putrid, almost as bad as the smell of the undead wolf snout that snaps closed next to your ankle before fading back into the mist and backing off as you are pulled free.
I soil my armor. No, I'm kidding.
That's enough of that.
Yeah, there has been too many.
Are we almost to town?
Yes, I scramble backwards and graciously thank Grayson as I unsheath my axe, my hand axe, and proceed to keep my eyes on the mist.
And
I don't suppose.
go ahead.
Can I roll survival to possibly understand what that substance is,
Of
or?
course you can. Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yes, you may.
God, wow.
Nope, but it sure smelled bad.
Perfect. I learned something.
Quite putrid, definitely rotting. Not sure what, but rotting. And Wilhelmina, you know that if you go at the pace you're going, you should be able to see the first of the houses in about 5 minutes if you can last that long.
We'll pick up the pace a bit longer. Just over this hill. Get your torches. They don't like fire.
Very good. So yep, you're not running, but you're definitely like almost walk sprinting at this point. Torch in one hand, skirts in the other. Everybody's following you as closely as possible. Those of you who are heeding her suggestion can take out torches and light them. As you do so, you do see some of the woven beings draw back, as well as several other roots of the same nature that you had seen shrink back and away from the fires. But it is about 2 more minutes before you are able to sight the edges of town.
Grayson is definitely one of those people that grabs a torch. He knows when to take advice.
Yep,
No,
I would also
sorry.
have a torch out as well.
I don't think I have a torch.
If I have one, it
Should be
might.
in your pack.
I have an explorer's pack. I don't know.
Yeah,
that should be good.
Explorers comes, I believe, with 10 torches.
Darn it, these aren't the right things. These aren't tokens. Yeah.
Yeah, Explorers pack 10 torches.
Library.
All right, I forgot we can just search that stuff up, can't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Can I? I don't think I can dual wield, so I can't have a torch in one hand and my axe in the other, can I?
Well, if it's a regular axe, it should be one-handed.
Yeah, it's just a hand axe.
Sorry, my shit doesn't want to work very well today.
I knew sticking next to Grayson would pay off.
Grayson, MVP of the night.
The safest option.
Yeah, you don't want to let your healer die.
Stick with the monster hunter to stay away from the monsters.
That's literally my thought process here. Wow, talk about a good map.
This one
That
is
urban sprawl.
This one's actually from the Strahd book. I make my own maps for inside the buildings, but I do stick to the maps that they gave me for the outside stuff because I'm not so great at that unless it's like a single clearing.
Well, even still, they're good as they are, so why not use
Mhm.
them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And excuse me while I get everybody back under control of their own characters again.
Mhm.
Take your time. Shouldn't Wilhelmina be at the front of the group, or
She should, but I just dropped the tokens on here. You can rearrange them as you wish once you've got control of them.
let's see.
Once you got your puppet strings on.
Nocturna.
This has been really fun, by the way. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
No problem. We're happy to have you.
I hope we still get to go for a little while. Having too much fun. I don't want it to stop.
Well, we're not stopping until we reach you, unless it hits 11:30 first.
Yay!
I hope we will get to where you guys are before that happens. But
Walk faster.
Okay.
fucking run,
We are-
bitches!
We are running, yeah.
Run!
And
Because then you'll get to experience what I set up for you guys.
I'm afraid.
I am excited.
What did you set up for
I
them
just-
that I don't know about?
I don't know either, but I'm excited.
Bond has an idea.
Oh
He's-
no.
I think I might know what's going on based off of what I've seen in Discord, but I could be wrong.
No, it's fine. You'll find out. It's fine.
Everything's fine. Everything's good. Anywho, yeah, you guys run into the town. As you approach it, it's as you've always known it, Willoughby. It's dark, it's drab. The mists here coil between the buildings, clinging to the windows and doors before dropping away. Most of the buildings are quite dark, some decrepit, some boarded up. Only a few of them show the gentle candlelight beneath tightly closed shutters. There is no one on the streets, although you were quite sure it's only about midday or so. But it is quite dark in here, almost as though it were night. You don't see anyone out and about, but you do feel the wolves at your back as they were sort of fall back in a way from this more concrete form of my brain died, civilization. And go ahead, Grayson, and Grayson, make one last dexterity saving throw for me.
Sure can.
Oh, good.
Wow.
So, Grayson, you're keeping at the back of the group as the monster hunter, which these clearly are not regular wolves. These are monstrous things of undeath, which is definitely your department. And you're keeping an eye out, and the largest one, the behemoth of a wolf, makes his last lunge towards you, attempting to clamp its massive jaws around your torso and claim at least one prize from this band for his own. But you manage to shove your torch directly in his features, singeing his jowls. The smell of rotting flesh catching flame soaks the air as this massive howl of pain and fury is heard echoing through the streets. And you hear a couple of doors slam, like whoever might have been awake in this town is definitely not gonna let you in now. And it fades into the mist, the glowing embers of burning flesh lingering in your vision until it moves far enough away that it is swallowed by the dark, coiling depths.
Thank God we have Tau.
Well, I soil my. No, I'm kidding.
And normally the beasts of the mist are not that aggressive. Nor is the town this quiet.
I wonder if the
Um,
presence is unwelcome.
Wilhelmina, you know from personal experience that most presence is unwelcome in Barovia.
Yeah.
I look around, catching my breath, and I ask Wilhelmina, like, is the mist that's like coalescing between the buildings going to be a problem? Like, should we have to worry about anything hiding in the side streets?
So, Wilhelmina, go ahead and just roll me a general wisdom check. Cool. So you don't think so. You haven't heard of many attacks from creatures that lurk in the mist within the towns. Mostly they happen out in the lone, in the wild, in the wilderness. But, things about all of this have just been a lot stranger than you're used to, and you don't really know what to think.
Yeah.
Well, how about we find this head honcho? I'm sure he would love to see some new faces in this beautiful, colorful town.
A little drab to me, but I think you got the right idea. Although I'm starting to wonder if our group's really cut out for this if we're up against giant undead wolves.
I pat.
Coming from our Wolf Slayer 9000?
I pat Turtle on the back. Don't worry, don't worry. We could have taken that thing out easily. Remember, we're here to kill something a lot stronger than that.
Oh, the confidence.
Forgive me if I often pray in your presence, comrade.
If he didn't soil his armor now, he is now. Or yeah, if he didn't soil it earlier, he is now.
I'll look at the lizard man and be like, and what is your occupation?
I'm just a wandering fighter, killing as many strong things as I can come across.
Yeah, you should pray for him.
Pray for Wilhelmina.
He might talk a good game, but I'll reserve my judgment until we actually have to fight one of those things.
I was gonna show you, but no one else wanted to fight, so I'm just gonna follow Wilhelmina and as you try to find the Burgermeister's place, the dude who sent me the letter.
And Wilhelmina, you know where the Burgermeister's place is, so you are able to traverse down the streets in this direction, which is towards the Burgermeister's house.
I can't help but hear Burgermeister, and I keep thinking of like a wizard that's like skilled in fast food conjuration.
Burgermeister,
Thinking the same thing.
No, it's Burger King. Duh.
The Burger King.
So as you guys are walking down the street, go ahead and roll me perception checks.
Perception?
Perception, yes.
No persuasion.
My least favorite thing to roll.
Yeah, persuade the mist. to
Your
give you
least
answers.
favorite thing to roll.
Oh my god.
Oh God. Now I'm cursed.
Grace
With
is the
these-
only person who
And
can
suddenly
hear
you're back in the mists in the woods.
Fucky.
Because no one knew what was
Hey!
happening.
Okay,
There we
perception's
go.
clearly my wild card.
It's just strange. Everything's strange.
So, Wilhelmina, you're a little bit distracted because of Lucius kind of just strutting around like behind you, like making motions at nothing in the mist, and just like he's just like ha ha ho ho hee hee, and
Come
it's
at me,
just
bro.
Like right in your ear.
yeah,
Huzzah!
and he's just like stabbing at nothing, like it's great. And Galen, you're too busy cracking up at the sight of this to really look around you. But above the sound of Lucius's wild displays, Nocturna, you are the first person to hear it. It is the soft sobbing of a terrified child. And Grayson, it takes you a few moments, but you see the look on Nocturna's face, and you kind of try to pay attention to what he's cocking his head and listening to, and you can faintly hear it too. Somewhere off to the east of your position, there's the sound of a small, terrified child just sobbing.
I speak up and try to shush the group and say, "Does anyone else hear that?"
Rachel will be like, I do. We should probably go check it out. Children crying is never good.
I
agree.
I agree.
Let's
We
go
should
check it
probably
out.
stick together.
I can lead us to that part of town.
And now that they've pointed out to you, Wilhelmina and everybody else, you also hear the crying child. And it seems to be coming from this direction over here.
I love the come at me, bro. Which direction? I did not move my token.
Wasn't Lucius ahead of us?
Yes, they were, but they're not paying attention to Wilhelmina.
I'm right behind Wilhelmina.
Now you are.
This is quite the group. That's all I can really say.
Bye, Grayson.
Which house is it you were pointing at? I'm sorry, Aaron.
No, she's going the right way. Okie dokie.
Okay.
So as you reach that corner, so you're passing by all of these houses, most of which seem to be shuttered up against the dark. You see a few lights flickering underneath the shutters. Once in a while, you think you see a terrified face peering out at you, but whenever you take notice, they promptly shut whatever shutters or board up whatever area they'd been peering out of. And nobody seems very keen to come out and greet you. As you reach this sort of little crossroads in the street down at the far east of the town, you peer around the corner to this direction to where you'd heard the sobbing coming from, and you see in the middle of the roadway there appear to be two small humanoid figures huddled together outside of what looks to be probably the nicest house on this block. Everything else looks as if it is a capital S slum. The windows are completely boarded up. In some cases, there are roofs falling inwards. And this one house right here looks like the only one that is still attached and actually has a bit of grandeur about it. It has its own slightly rusted black picket fence. It has 3 entire stories, all of which appear to be perfectly intact. There is a bit of peeling paint here and there, but by far it looks a lot more inviting than the rest of these places. If you can call black paint, gray roof tile, and stained glass Gothic windows inviting, anyway. And there are 2 small humanoid figures huddled in the middle of the street just outside of it.
Can I move past everyone and call out to the 2 small figures?
Are they the ones making noise?
You see that one of them appears to be sobbing. It is the smallest figure, possibly a little boy. And the other one looks slightly older than him. Maybe she's about 10 or 12 years old. You can't really tell at this distance, but seems about right size proportionally. And she's not crying, but she is hugging the smaller figure and rubbing his back and looking frantically back at the house that they are outside of.
I will approach the children and try, like, hush, child, what troubles you?
Giant lizard! Ah!
That's more for his.
Yeah, Aaron, you kind of cut out there just a tad.
Yeah, you went such a high pitch. You were just.
How do you do, fellow crying bee?
Sorry. So, they are screaming in absolute terror at this giant lizard.
That's what I thought.
Damon!
Is
Can
monster
I-
help?
Can I make a perception check as I roll up and try to shush the children, to calm them?
You can definitely make a
Or-
perception check. What are you trying
I
to
meant
perceive?
the persuasion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, persuasion. Go ahead. Okay. How do you try to persuade them?
I approach. Hold on, what's in my bag? Let me see what's in my magic bag of tricks.
Candy?
My-
Candy?
I approach and I withdraw. Yeah, hold on. What's my... I guess
Pocket bacon.
pocket sand.
Yeah, pocket
I'll pull
bacon.
out my. Wait, I have a horn. I pull out a horn and ask them if they would like to see this toy to calm them down. If they are willing to tell us why they're crying.
And with the 12, the youngest one is kind of reduced to hiccups of terror at this point. He doesn't even look at your horn. He just buries his face in his sister's stomach, just making himself very small. As she reaches down on the ground and like picks up a rock and like pulls back her arm like she's about to throw it, and she's like, "Who are you people? What is this monster that you travel with?"
I walk
Can-
back next to
Yeah, I was
Wilhelmina.
gonna push ahead of all of these.
Wilhelmina
Yeah,
just shoves everybody aside.
Yeah.
and
I
strides
go
up to the
behind
children.
Wilhelmina. I put my hands up. I'm like, I'm no threat to you.
And I'll kneel down eye level with the children and ask what's wrong. Why is today so dark?
Alright, go ahead and roll persuasion for me, Wilhelmina.
Yeah.
While they're doing that, what is Lucius wearing? Does he have like a cape or a hood or something on him?
I am wearing armor, like just normal armor.
No cape, no nothing. Okay.
Not hidden at all.
Well, I wasn't expecting to find racist children.
I mean,
Welcome to
be fair, they
Barovia.
could've thought you were a monster from the mist.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
I'll come. Grayson will come up behind Lucius, put his hand on his shoulder, and go. They have been secluded all their life, and all they've seen are humans. You look like a monster from the mist.
I could freak him out so bad, but
Oh man.
I can't help but think everyone's a little bit racist right now.
Basically, yeah.
Everyone's a little racist sometimes.
Oh no. Anywho, after we get sued by Avenue Q, Wilhelmina, so you crouch down and you try to talk some sense into them. The youngest one is just inconsolable at this point, just like heavy sobbing, shaking. The girl does not seem very convinced that you don't all mean her harm, but she is also afraid of something else as well. And when Wilhelmina asks that question, what is going on, what is wrong, why is today so dark, she points at the house and she says, a giant monster spider doll thing broke into our house, and they attacked my parents, and they dragged them into the kitchen, and I think they're chopping them up, and we ran out here, and they're in there, and my little brother is upstairs on the, and she just breaks down.
well, boys, it's free real estate.
Who wants to adopt some orphans?
Oh god.
I've never seen a spider creature before.
Or
giant spider doll creature.
doll of such things.
I step a little bit forward, but still like behind Wilhelmina. I'm just poking out because I'm like taller than her. Because I'm like a like 6.5 foot tall dragon, or like a 7 foot tall dragon man. And I'm like, don't worry, I am very strong. I can help you, children. Do I have to roll perception for that?
You mean persuasion? Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
persuasion. Alright, don't worry, children. I am very strong. I can help you with your troubles.
Come on, be in that one. Come on, come on. Give me
Be
that.
the strongest, friendliest monster you will ever see.
Oh,
Oh
dang.
yes, we're doing this. We're doing this.
So she kind of peers up at you through her sobs, and I think it registers that if you were going to eat her, she might already be dead by now. So she kind of chokes it down, reels it in a little bit. I'm the big sister. I gotta protect my little brother. She looks down at him and she just smooths his head as he's still shaking and like hiccuping, but he's cried so much that he's not really making sounds anymore. Much anyway. And she kind of looks up at Lucius and she said, "You are big, but it is bigger."
But that doesn't mean it's stronger.
Grayson doesn't care about the talking at this point. He pushes past everybody and up to the darn house and opens the door.
Can I clasp Lucius on the back, give him a reluctant look, and just nod and motion towards the house?
I take the look. I say one last thing to the child. I was like, "Don't worry, we'll help. You'll see." And we go into the house.
Well, as Grayson approached the door, of course, he drew his rapier once more.
Excellent.
And then I'll stepping up, looking towards Wilhelmina. I'm clearly not more of the muscular sort, and I don't think it's wise to leave children out on an abandoned street by themselves. Would you like to stay here and watch them with me?
Sure.
Wow.
I take out my short sword as I follow in Grayson.
Alrighty,
Cool.
let me get your tokens set up on this page right here real quick.
This is the last thing I expected.
Crying children? Or spider monster?
I don't even know. So it's Grayson, Lucius, and I entering not the vehicle, the house.
Yeah, the vehicle.
Is there a motor home that is their house?
Moving at
Barovia.
an alarming rate.
So, what kind
this
of
house would be
moving
like
house is this? Is this Howl's Moving Castle?
Oh no, it's
Is it-
definitely Baba Yaga for sure.
It's Howl's
Baba
moving
Yaga's
trailer.
Barovian summer fun. Hot witch summer.
It's like a Five Nights at Freddy's with spider dolls, I guess. Sorry, this will just take
Giant
a minute.
spider dolls.
Giant
Giant.
spider dolls.
Giant spider dolls.
Yeah,
You know
Bigger,
what?
bigger than a dragonborn.
I'll
Like
shut
7 feet
out.
tall.
Yeah,
I'll shout
you
out.
are
If you
7
find
feet
my
tall.
friend Calcifer, if you find anyone named Calcifer, let him know his friend Balder's out here.
Oh my god. You're gonna run that one into the
Hold on,
ground, aren't you,
Dragonborns
babe?
and God on our side.
Ripping off all the things.
Alright, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and where's number 5?
And I will have my weapon drawn.
I'm gonna swap my mace because I'm gonna need the big one to crush spiders.
Alrighty, so
Oh, this is talk about cool.
thank you. Alrighty, so you guys right here you two are staying outside the house with the children. You three are planning on going inside the house. So what you see before you is a covered porch with a stone archway with carvings of trees and creeping vines and flowers kind of engraved all around it. And beyond that is what looks like the main door of the place, which is also quite ornately carved and is currently ajar because the children have just run out of it and left it ajar and not shut it behind them.
Gentlemen, may I suggest a course of action?
Oh, please.
We kick in the door and we try to intimidate and surprise the spiders because if they're in the kitchen, I'm willing to bet that the kitchen is near the entrance to the house.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Can
Oh,
we just
no.
ask the children in their own house where the kitchen is?
No,
No,
can-
I'm already doing it.
Oh, God.
And before the children can answer, Lucius is running up and he drop kicks the door, which is already open, by the way, as I had previously mentioned. So it just like rocks back on its hinges, just like
intimidation.
slamming into things.
The intimidation.
The spiders are gonna
though.
be so scared.
And it slams open to reveal what looks like a nice little entrance hallway. A picture falls down and cracks on the ground as the door that you just kicked in the wrong direction. It's broken now. Had collided with the wall opposite it on this side. Hold on. On
Knock,
this
knock,
side.
motherfucker.
And the portrait that had been on the wall there is now on the ground, kind of shattered. As you're looking in this hallway, there are several other portraits lining it, as well as a large shield on a side wall right here, about midway through, that is red and features a windmill on it as a motif. And then across from me, you see another set. Across from me, you see another set of double doors, also ajar.
Looks like I know what I need to do.
Oh no! And these also open inward towards you.
Grayson is
I,
putting
Not
out his
anymore.
Grayson is putting out his torch and leaving it in the front yard.
That's probably a good
Can
idea.
I make this all the better? Can I use my horn to blow it really loud to wake up the neighbors to hopefully call more help?
Go ahead, go for it.
Do I need to roll for that, or?
Nope, you just blow the horn.
I mean, if you're kicking indoors, I may as well at this point.
And Lucius just charges at the other set of doors, which are open,
No.
and he's about to drop kick the opposite direction.
No. Before I kick the doors open, I pick up the portrait of the family. Like, oh, what a beautiful family! And
It's
I try
actually
to, like,
of a
place it-
really stern-looking old lady with her hair pulled back in a bun. It's white. It's very severe. She's got like one of those ruffly black collars, very Victorian dress style, puffy sleeves, staring at you very judgmentally from out of her broken and ripped frame.
I changed that. Oh, what an ugly family! I put the picture next to the shield.
We just caused thousands in property damage.
Casually.
I request if you're going to drop kick another door, please say I have had it with these motherfucking doors in this motherfucking house.
Oh God.
After not knowing the layout and this failing one time, I will go and pull the door as gently as I can open.
And you pull it open.
As you coming or what?
Grayson slowly follows, keeping his distance in case the lizard decides to drop kick another piece of furniture.
Gosh darn
I,
lizards, you never know what they're gonna do.
I curse my bad ideas and put my horn away and follow.
Hey, this is what I get for trying to be a team player. That's all I'm saying.
Outside the building, the little girl looks with concern to Willabina and says, "Are you sure they can handle this?"
Of course they can. Look at what happened to that door against that lizard man.
It'll be
we,
all right.
we found him in the mist and decided to keep him.
Wilhelmina needs to roll deception there. Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
I think Philomena does need to roll deception there, actually.
What? No,
Right.
Wilhelmina knows me the longest and the best out of everyone in the party. She knows I'm gonna be fine. Hold on, I need to
Wilhelmina
go
is very
see.
good at lying. She's had to lie
Oh,
to
if
children many
only-
times to get them to do what they're supposed to do. She is well practiced in this. And
only
when
that
she
was
says
good.
it'll be fine, she doesn't really mean this will be fine. She just means everything will be fine someday. Don't know when. Don't know how, but maybe. She's not
Some
lying.
country.
It's two lies and the truth. Or two truth and a lie. I don't know. Fuck. Anyway. Anyway, so Lucius, so you very carefully enter the second portal, and the sight that greets you is actually a very cheerily lit hallway. Main entry room here. There is a beautiful fireplace made of black marble with bronze engraving that run the length of it. It looks like a set of beautiful trees that are reaching skywards. Above the fireplace, there is an absolutely gorgeous longsword that looks like it may very well be a family heirloom, along with a portrait of a small family. There is a mother and a father who look rather grim and stern, and two small children, which are the children that you saw outside. The older sister, she looks as though she's trying to make an expression, the same as her parents. The younger one is just looking kind of poutily at whoever managed to paint this portrait of them. And in the arms of the woman, there is a wrapped bundle of a baby, and she is pointedly looking away from it. The paneling in this room is quite ornate. You can see beautiful dancing trees and flowers and satyrs in the woodworking that surrounds this room. There is a carpeted spiral staircase peeling upwards into the house. You could see from the outside that there's probably at least 3 stories, maybe an attic to this place. And there are several doors, all of which, despite what you see at the north there visually, O'Sealy, all of which are currently shut.
Maybe we should ask where the kitchen is.
I mean, didn't they mention there was another child upstairs too?
How about you two fight the monsters? I'll go secure the child.
Aren't you the monster hunter?
Yes, but I'm pretty sure I'm a lot quieter than the two of you.
I mean, they already know we're coming. Tap's horn.
Not to mention, I think the racist children might be afraid of me. Or the racist baby might be afraid of me.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow in after Lucius. I feel like this. I mean, this was my bad idea, so I feel the need to see it through.
All right, Grayson, what are you doing?
Like, Grayson's gonna go upstairs looking for this kid. He doesn't care what these two loud people are going to do. His number one priority is to get the innocents safe and then attack the monster.
I mean, that's my idea too.
Okie
They,
dokie.
they said the
Alley
parents were in the
cat.
kitchen, right?
They did
Yeah.
indeed, yes.
So,
Did anyone else just hear that noise? Or...
oh, nice.
Like staticky?
Yeah, like electricity.
I heard that too. I thought that was
It's-
something in my room.
In-game sound effects.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah, you can
So-
Full
tracks
two
and
of
roll
us.
So,
I
so you make for the staircase there, and as you head in that direction, you hear from the door over here what sounds like the clattering of silverware and a small child cry out.
The
I
kitchen.
don't think the child's upstairs anymore. Turns around.
The kitchen. Finally. Nocturna, what do you think? Pull gently or kind of kick down situation?
Just open the door and go. There's something like a kid's life in danger.
Alright. I will do so. Let us make haste.
Alright, so
Telly,
Oh, good door sound.
So you reach out and you grasp the handle and you try to open the door, thump, 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 and you can't seem to get it to open. It appears to be locked. And we are going to swing momentarily outside to Galen and Wilhelmina while this all has been happening. Galen, Wilhelmina, you're out here with the two children. And the little girl keeps looking anxiously back at the house. Are you sure that they can handle the spider lady?
Our friends are very strong. First off, can you tell us your names and who you guys are and who your parents are?
Oh,
And he's like kneeling down, talking to this girl.
I'm Rosevalda, and this is Thornbolt. He's my brother. We are the Durst family. We live here. We have always generations lived here. And my parents, they're Lord and Lady Dursts. They we were having dinner, and then it came in and it attacked and it dragged them into the kitchen, and there was such screaming.
Okay, it's okay. That large, scary lizard man is a great exterminator.
Oh,
Uh,
well, that is
but
good.
you said spider lady? I thought it was a spider or a spider doll or whatever you said earlier.
It looked like doll. It had lady features on face, but it was, you know how the porcelain doll, they are painted on the cheeks. It looked like that. It had hair, it had dress, but it was very long limbs, and its neck was very long, and it moved so strange, and it was so tall, it touched the ceiling.
I'd be scared if I was outside.
No, in my player's mind, that's what's going in my head. Fuck that.
We're gonna stay out here.
Yeah. Is the spider why everyone's hiding?
I do not know. I think it could. And she is cut off by a loud, grumbling growl as you see, peering around the edge of the house, one of those undead wolf creatures. And then you look to the left, and two more slink out from the shadows from beneath a house 2 doors down.
Suddenly, I'm glad I'm inside the house.
Mind, do you want to be inside or outside?
Although maybe busting in the door wasn't a great idea at this moment.
Hey. Considering the fact that we have no choice to bust down the other door, we were like one door off. Who could have blamed us?
Hey, the other door's not broken. Remember, it was just the outside doors.
No, the inside door is locked, so I have to break it.
I think he's talking about that door over there. Okay, anywho, Wilhelmina, Galen, what are you doing? The children cry out upon seeing these terrible things and cling on to each other. The girl has lost all semblance of trying to calm her brother in the face of these undead monstrosities. There's only sheer terror.
I would start trying to ushering the kids inside. Wilhelmina, you've been here before, right?
Yes, definitely. Grab the older child. I'll get the younger. We should secure ourselves in the house.
And which one was it that, I can't think of his actual name because I'm thinking of his other character's name, door that broke down?
I'm Lucius Decodius the 23rd.
Lucius.
He broke down
Yeah,
the
right
right-hand
here.
door right here. He broke down this right-hand door right here.
Yeah. One out of two.
Okay, so yeah, I would pick up the older child, Rose,
Hmm.
and start heading inside.
And Wilhelmina scoops up Thorn. You both race into the doorway, and past the busted outer door, and carrying a child each as you head inside.
And placing the child down right here, we'll try to close these doors because we don't need to worry about spider creatures and dire wolves.
Okie dokie. So you set Thorn down, who
Or Rose,
oh,
I
sorry.
thought.
Yeah, Rose. Sorry. You set Rose down as you struggle to lift the massive door to put it back into place. He moves back and out of your way, kind of crouching underneath the shield that is his family crest. And go ahead and roll me a strength check.
Oh, great. Oh, fucking great. Strength check.
Mm-hmm. To lift the door.
No whammy, no whammy.
Oh, wow, that's surprisingly good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. You managed to, with a strength born of sheer fucking terror, lift that door and jam it back into place, which is good because moments later, whoom, a body hits it, striking loudly and jostling you, making you nearly fall to the ground. Wilhelmina, are you doing anything to assist?
Yeah, I will secure the other door. No, I will see if there's any furniture that I can put against the first door.
You see a small chair in the entryway, presumably for people to take their shoes off before they enter the house if they have muddy boots. You grab the chair and you run over to Gallon and try to assist him in propping it up against the door to kind of make a barricade. As these creatures strike the door again and again, you hear the snarling of the wolves and the scratching of their claws. And then all of a sudden, sheer silence.
Seems like those fuckers don't like doors. Good to know.
Evolution.
Now I can understand Lucius's hatred towards doors if he's related somehow, however the fuck that happens.
Lucius hears like everything going on and goes like, Wilhelmina, why'd you bring the children inside where it's dangerous?
Actually, Lucius, when you walk over there, you don't see any children. You just see Wilhelmina and Gallon barricading a door.
Oh shit.
Wilhelmina, what about the children?
They're in here. Don't you see them? And I turn around. And... Well, fuck. Where the hell did they go?
I'm silent completely. Not sure what happened to the children as we carried them in. They were heavy.
Mm-hmm. They sure were.
Can
Yeah,
I
no.
roll an?
While they're chatting, can Grayson go over to the kitchen door and pick the lock?
So, Grayson, you head over to the kitchen door, and you can go ahead and roll. Oh, very good. Thieves' tools. To pick the lock of the door. And while you're doing that, we're going to cut to what's going on inside of the kitchen at the moment, real quick. Because, Paige, you just got assaulted by the fucking cuddlery. And
I sure did.
And it just barely missed you and your young charge at the moment. And then you hear something pounding and jostling at the door that had not previously been able to open for you, and shouts from outside. And you're pretty sure you heard snarls of some great beast at some point, and then it went quiet. And then you hear the gentle click, click, click of something trying to pick the lock.
Yeah, of course. Okay, cool. So, Paige is just staring at the knives and then looks over at Lily and then turns around abruptly with a swoosh of tattered skirts and looks at the rest of the cutlery and looks at the door, and then you see Lily sees as Paige like holds her arms to the sides and seems to like brace a little bit, and she says, she looks over her shoulder and says, "Whatever comes through that door, stay behind me."
Oh right.
And Lily prepares her sling with a magic rock.
Excellent. Grayson, the door clicks gently open underneath of your studious attention to your thieves' tools, creaking towards you as you open it.
I will put my tools back in the pouch of my belt and open the door with my rapier in hand, expecting to see monsters on the other side.
And you are not far off as you peer into this warmly lit kitchen with what looks like the remains of preparations for dinner. You do see something standing between you and what looks like a small child. Paige, why don't you tell him what you see? What he sees, anyway.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, so what he sees is, for lack of a better word, a doll that's been put together in many different, very, very unsettling ways. In the face, she looks pretty human, except for the seams, which are quite obvious now, with some parts of the facial structure having worn away over time, and hair, which is obviously yarn or perhaps wool at some point, has been tattered and frayed and simply cut off at the back at some point. The arms, the legs, the torso, the neck especially, are all segmented, not unlike what a bug might be reminiscent of, and garbed in what looks like once was a beautiful, flush Lolita dress is now just, oh lord, it's just tatters and rags and holes and patches exposing segments of her body, and tattered, horrid rags of what once was surely beautiful silk petticoats hanging from her waist. And her arms are outstretched as you also see perhaps Lily standing behind her, this little girl holding a what looks like a strange doll. And Paige just levels an apathetic expression towards you, and you're certainly not what she expected, but she also doesn't know what you are. So she keeps her protective stance. And then as she opens her mouth, you hear this and then finally she says, "Who are you, and what do you want with my charge?"
You don't look like a spider doll eating parents. Did you see a spider around here?
And we're gonna cut back to everybody else over by the door really quick, who's just discovered the missing children. Lucius looking panicked at Wilhelmina and Galen, who have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Lucius sees that Grayson finally got the door open and is like, just find the children, I've got shit to kill. And then like runs into the kitchen, like bursting through the door that has just been baked.
Okay. Unless Grayson allows you to go through, that's gonna be a contested strength check to see if you bowl him over to get in the room.
I will step to the side but stick my foot out and trip him.
Dexterity saving throw, Lucius.
Alright, let's do it. I got this. I have a high dex. Alright.
And that'll be against Grayson's sleight of hand.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay.
It wasn't
No.
quick enough.
Yeah, no. For once.
He leaps.
Yeah, no. Grayson, you step aside, and Lucius runs into the room, but he was planning on leaping anyway to like make an entrance and be like, "Ha-ha!" against whatever foe is before him.
Intimidation check.
Yeah, and he just, like, he leaps over your leg without even meaning to, and he just thunks down in the center of the room, facing Paige with his
With
weapon.
my long sword.
Yeah, with his
Or
weapon
my short
drawn.
sword.
His short sword
yeah.
drawn. His sword's drawn, and Paige, you've never seen a creature like this before. This large lizard creature. He's not as big as you are at your full height, of course, but he's large.
Yeah.
And he's very intimidating, and he's got swords facing towards you, but more importantly, towards Lily.
May
Yep.
I do the sling that I was trying to do earlier?
You
With
may.
with the crazy thing that just leapt in and went
Yeah.
rah!
Go for it.
Hey.
Oh shit, that's a natural 1. Hold on, let me get the crit fail
Oh,
chart.
no.
And
I
meanwhile,
spooked her a little too hard with my entrance.
Paige just stares at you on the ground, and you just hear as she tilts her head.
And roll me a d20, Lily.
Okay.
Oh no!
Come on, let's just hope nothing really bad happens.
What's the worst that could happen?
9.
I mean,
I think
it's critical fail.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Roll me a d3.
No, that's gonna be damage, isn't it?
Yep. Who does it hit?
So Lily was aiming at Lucius when he leaped through the doorway and terrified her with his ha, and she lets loose the sling, and it pings around the entire kitchen before whoop, hitting Grayson dead in the skull. Fortunately, the momentum was enough. It was reduced somewhat by the attack, so you only take 1 damage to the skull, Grayson.
I was waiting for it to be Paige.
My time to shine. I can heal.
Oh, lovely. Guys, you only take 1 damage though, Grayson, because this magic rock pinged across like the entire kitchen before hitting you and lost a lot of its momentum.
I'll rub the side of my head. Oh, come on.
And Lily goes, "Sorry, I was aiming for the other one."
When the sounds of the rock start pinging around, I kind of furrow my brow and I walk a little closer to peek into the room as best as I can.
So Lucius, knowing that she aimed for him, ignores that comment because of the racist children earlier, and says, "Whatever. Where is the danger? I am here to help."
And then you, Lucius, also see this giant doll thing right here.
That's not a spider. Is that supposed to be here?
Yes, there's no spider here.
I am no arachnid. And how am I to know that you are not the danger?
Because I am also not an arachnid.
Would I, not seeing the children anywhere and hearing this commotion, would I have made my way over there by now?
If that's what you wish to do, that is what you will do.
I'd probably come in over there as like, do you think someone so graceful would be this dangerous?
Is talking about me? Am I
Say that out loud?
No. This is play to play. I have no idea who you're talking about.
I'll turn to Gallon and be like, weren't you with the children?
That's what I said!
Apparently it's more so of a question of what children. We carried them inside because creatures of the mist followed us here, and then they disappeared.
Hey, Wilhelmina, roll me a perception check.
So I was gonna go upstairs.
Alrighty, so Wilhelmina, as you are about to set foot up the stairs to look for the children, you hear a cracking and a crunching from back in the direction of the door that you barred.
I'm gonna go check it out.
You rush back over, weapon probably in hand, ready to see an undead horde of wolves pouring through the door. And when you reach there, you see that the doors are perfectly intact, as though they were never damaged in the first place. And the chair that you had moved over to bar them is seated in its previous position, awaiting somebody to sit upon it and take off muddy shoes. And the portrait that had been broken is back upon its wall, its frame completely unhindered, and the visage of the woman who is inside of it no longer scowling, but smiling a very self-satisfied smirk. And that's where we're ending it for the evening.
I have to say, in the background music, there was like a lady chuckling. That was perfect timing.
I thought I was going crazy hearing that.
Well, the voice thingy, not voice thingy, the music thingy that I'm using from Roll20 is quote-unquote asylum, so I thought it appropriate.
Yeah, no, it worked out very well.
It also worked very, very well earlier when you were describing like the behemoth dire wolf, and when you were saying like this putrid, rotting flesh, there's insects in the background. I was like,
Yep.
that's way too fucking perfect. And really fucking creepy.
Yep.
I could only hear it a little bit. I don't know why.
Oh, I heard the insects really loud and clear. I was like, that's too real right now.
I took off my headphones and I got my bug spray.
So if you guys go to the bar up on the right-hand side, there is one that looks like a music note and some sheet music called Jukebox. If you click on it, you're able to adjust the volume of whatever I am quote-unquote now playing, so you can hear more or less of it.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. I did not know about that.
Wait, where's the volume thing?
So
It's in a music note.
It's the music note. Go to the music note next to the big I, which is also next to the newspaper where your character sheet is. But go to the music note. It's called Jukebox, and it shows a now playing section, and you can adjust the volume of what it is you're listening to that I'm playing currently.
That's weird. I don't see the volume.
I don't see a volume control either. It might
think
be
it's under the
DM only.
gear.
Oh, it might be under the gear, I guess. Might be under the gear for you guys. It's under the jukebox for me because
Master music volume level, right under the first thing.
I might just not be able to hear it because Discord's a little loud.
Yeah, and
Does it show you a now playing bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a blue line there, and with a.
No, there's not.
There's not?
Oh, I have the blue line, but I don't have the volume.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the blue line is it's 4 minutes in out of 10 minutes line.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried.
It's fine. I mean, you could just go to the cog and then go to master music volume level and turn it down that way. But it's all the way up for me and it's fairly quiet, I think, is the issue.
Yeah.
Oh, same. Yeah, same. I have. Oh, that. Yeah, I have that volume bar.
Okie
Yep.
dokie.
Same.
I am so confused.
Yeah, it's all good.
about the
It's all good.
session.
Don't worry. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Play with it in the future.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming tonight. I hope it was as fun for you as it was for me, terrifying all of you. It was very humorous tonight as well, but I think I got the level of creepy in that I was trying to go for. I hope
You
it was
did.
alright for you guys.
Yeah, no, it was really good, especially with the dire wolves or whatever they were following us to the house.
I'm
Supposed to be
glad.
the serious campaign, so hopefully we weren't too goofy.
No, I mean,
Not at all.
no
I hope I
campaign
help
that
with the woo.
that was wonderful. I loved that.
Soundboards.
You're my
That's what I was
official.
setting up.
You're my official sound effects person for 100% for the rest of my life. Never anyone
Oh yeah,
else.
the doors were amazing for when I did decide to break them down.
That was really good. But anyway, yes, thank you for anybody who was watching tonight. We really appreciate it. We will be back again for another Strahd Sunday double feature. Not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after. This coming Sunday, we'll actually, Rob, will we be trying Starfinder, or will we be at the Ren Fair, not able to do that? I'm not sure.
Probably not, because that ends at 8 Eastern, and it's like, what, 2-hour ride to get back?
Totally. You'd have to be doing it in the car over Discord, and I wouldn't be streaming jack all shit.
Exactly. Well, I can do hotspot data for everyone, but still.
Yeah, it won't be quite as fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably not going to be doing Starfinder this Sunday. But it's alternating weekends, just so anybody out there's watching knows. Usually it'll be Strahd one Sunday, Starfinder the next, and so on into ad infinitum, or until we all die, whichever. So the next time you will be hearing from me will be not this Wednesday, because DM Kalith of Dungeons and Dinosaurs has to work some overtime. She's sucked into the lovely world of retail. So you'll be hearing from me next on Friday when we do our customary dragons, also maybe dungeons. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. Good night, and don't let the vampires bite. Goodbye!
Bye.
Good night.